After these messages, we'll be right back. Hold on, I just gotta... Just give me 1 second. All I gotta do is share this link to this thing that I'm doing right here, and then we can get started. Alright. While we're waiting for that, you guys can watch this. Alright, you get the point. Welcome to the Bean Show. The only news we cover is related to beans, and only beans from now on till the end of time. We're going to be doing a live review of Mr. Bean Goes on Vacation. Never seen the movie before, but I hear he goes on a trip. It's a lovable... very evocative film, and I'm excited. But no, let's just move on. We all know why I'm playing beans. Why the fuck are we talking about beans? You may say. Well, it wasn't me who did it first. The reason why I wanted to talk about this was because remember about a year and a half ago when everybody on the fucking internet was really super fucking pissed? Hold on, let me get this shit out of the way. Why is this? Hold on. Wait 1 second. That's not right. There we go. For some reason, there we go. Alright. Gotta adjust my camera here. Alright. Yeah, remember about a year and a half ago when the left was being criticized for caring about very minuscule, minor, pointless things like the Aunt Jemima label and the fucking label for Uncle Ben's rice. Very minor, minuscule things, wasting their time when there's so many better things to be focusing on. Yeah. Must have been a year and a half ago, otherwise how could people forget so quickly? People are fucking stupid. That's the long and the short of it. God, I'm nervous. Fuck me. Alright. My point... Hold on, there was a video I wanted to cover real quick. Nope. I'm gonna put this in the no-no square real quick. Oh. Oh, it's the... Okay, hold on 1 second. Still learning how to use this setup properly. Okay, if I put that there. Sweet. Okay. So, yeah. We all know what happened. The fucking president violating the emoluments clause once fucking again to promote a bean product. There's one particular video I wanted to find. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding it right now. Probably because I'm not even typing it in. There we go. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Should probably send a message to the surprise mystery guest we're going to have. Make sure that he's prepared to come on, because he's not going to be on for about an hour. I wanted to kind of warm myself up before we get it started. So yeah. Let's see. Load. Thank you. There we go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Come on, computer.
And unfortunately, this great divide is killing our nation. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And this can be the destruction of our nation. We are at that point.
House divided.
Now, that was the president
Just like Lincoln.
of Goya Foods. He was on this program with Ashley last week. He sparked controversy and a boycott when he praised President Trump. Well, now there is
fucking
a counter-push, a boycott, actually.
A boycott.
Back against the boycott. One supporter has started a GoFundMe page to buy Goya products. Casey Harper is the man who's doing it. He's on the screen right now. Casey.
If we had done this shit, if we had just, like, in an act of solidarity with fucking, like, Aunt Jemima's syrup or Uncle Ben's rice, just, like, started, like, buying them in bulk and shit, do you think we'd be taken even remotely seriously? These people would immediately understand that the absurdity to be critical of corporations while simultaneously flinging money at corporations would just be absurd. Which I don't think that's a little bit of a contradiction, but it's not as much of a contradiction as they make it out to be. But here they go doing this exact same shit, not even like 2 weeks after that, and they don't even see the irony in it. But it gets worse. Hold on.
All right, let's get right at it. How much have you? Yeah, I think you've only been doing this a couple of days. How much have you raised?
Well, we started on...
Let me get myself out of my... I mean, you'll all need to see Stuart Varney's beautiful face. Ah, no, you don't. Never mind.
Saturday afternoon, and we're already up. I just refreshed. If you refresh every, few minutes, you'll see a different number, but we're over 160,000 now.
Something I want to point out, I remember a couple of months ago, I mean, this is probably a while ago, I don't remember exactly when, but there was these black kids who, like, lost their home in a fire or something, and, like, a picture of theirs went viral, where they, like, were praying, like, the day before school, and it was on Fox News, and, like, man, these black kids, they're super appreciative, they're willing to thank God, even after all this tragedy, and they mentioned the GoFundMe that was raising, like, millions of dollars for them, didn't actually show it, or link to it in any fucking way, but when it comes to this fucking bean product, they're careful to make sure this gets the link. This gets the link, you guys, not those fucking, those kids who need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. But no, this fucking CEO of a giant company needs to have his link front and center. So it's okay. Don't worry, guys.
It's really taken off.
Yes, it certainly has. In a couple of days, that's a remarkable amount of money. Are you doing this because of free speech?
Free speech.
I ask the question because when you boycott somebody or their product for what they have said, essentially, I think you're clamping down on free speech.
That's interesting, Stuart. Very fucking interesting that he would say that, isn't it? See, I'm of the wild and crazy position that you should be able to express whatever opinion you want, and that could be a protest with your fucking dollar. That's my fucking wacky anti-free speech opinion, apparently. That you should be able to use your money however you fucking like, and express yourself however you fucking want with your money. But this just goes back to, I made a video a couple of weeks ago. The right wing has no idea what fucking a free speech violation is. They have no fucking idea. I was saying the same shit when fucking Dave Rubin was running around calling, like, bad reviews of his book a free speech violation. The right wing has no fucking idea what a free speech violation. The same way that your grandmother calls every fucking video game console a fucking, like, Nintendo or a PlayStation, every like, just mild inconvenience in a Republican's life or anything that just tingles their brain the wrong way is a free speech violation to them. It means nothing coming from them. And I wanted to point this out because Stuart Varney has a long history of fucking boycotting shit. I couldn't find the particular clip of Stuart Varney, but I swear, I promise it exists. There's tons of fucking... There's a Stuart Varney, like, war on Christmas boycott plea. A lot of places. Okay? I remember when fucking Fox News was passing around a list, bitching about fucking, what are they fucking called? Victoria's Secret for not being Christmassy enough. Victoria's Secret. Like, what the fuck do you want a Victoria's Secret, store to have? Like, Jesus on the cross? No. God, it's kind of dark in here. Maybe I should turn the light up a little bit so you can see my beautiful mug. Well, maybe if I turn this down, actually. Oh, there we go. That's slightly better. There we go. It's kind of dark in here. I'll have to turn on the light in about an hour when it gets a little darker. Anyway. Maybe I should... Nah, it's whatever. Let's keep watching.
Is that why you've organized this boycott?
This boycott. He really fell in love with that. He, like, came up with that, like, in 3 in the morning. It's like, holy shit, I gotta tell everybody.
Well, that's a great question. And, you know, you said, and this has sparked controversy. And it's amazing that a CEO who also praised President Obama saying they praise President Trump is a source of controversy. And I think the CEO is right that we're really at a perilous time in our nation where people can't even say, wow, the president is doing okay without fearing possibly losing their job and their whole...
His plea was for division, I want to remind everybody. And can we just, like, admit that Trump is a way more divisive president than probably any president before him? He really is. Of course he fucking is. I mean, the fact that, like, the overwhelming majority of, like, his approval polling comes only from Republican presidents, the fact that his Supreme Court picks, like, he put forward Brett Kavanaugh, who only got in by 1 vote. By 1 vote. You can't see my hand over here. I'm gonna be flipping you off over here. You have no idea. By 1 vote. Yeah, he's a very divisive fucking figure. So the sudden plea for, like, a lack of division while praising Trump for, like, alleviating that way does not make sense to me at all. And we know that these fucking companies, I mean, the truth of the matter is that Republicans really invented, like, I mean, he calls it a boycott. I'm gonna call it that for the sake of this argument. They really invented intertwining corporations with your morals. Like, the first real big controversy of this shit was when Chick-fil-A went over to Chick-fil-A made some, like, innocuous statement based on... Who the fuck... Nobody wants me until I'm fucking streaming. I swear to God. What do they want? God damn it. No, I'm good. Thank you. Where was I? Yeah, where they you know, they had that, like, seemingly innocuous statement. It was like, and they basically just didn't have the same rights for their gay employees as they did their straight ones. And all the Republicans came out of the woodwork to support them. And what I find funny about that is those same fucking people, when the same guy who made those same comments about the gay community came out in support of the BLM marches, suddenly those same people that were boycotting, we'll call it, are now boycotting them. Crazy. It's almost like it's totally possible to support products you like for pushing politics that you like. It's strange how they don't understand this all of a sudden.
Company going out of business. This is really not about endorsing one political party or the other. It's about
bullshit.
America as one, really.
Like, let's be honest. This is about, like, just a sudden plea for business. And maybe there was some, like, genuine emotion on this, but do you think, like, he's losing... Do you think, like, he thought, like, when he went on fucking Fox Business to talk about his politics that he wasn't gonna get, like, a bump in his fucking profits? And when they just found, like, the 1 or 2 fucking people on Twitter, they're like, hey, maybe you guys shouldn't buy products from this guy. Maybe you should go to somewhere else to buy your shit. He didn't, like, immediately push for this business. He didn't immediately, like, you think he's not, like, on this show right now to push this? Fuck no. I mean, I don't think this is actually the same guy. I don't think they look alike. They all look alike to me. No. I mean, this is obviously a very Hispanically fucking friendly, I mean, or rather, a very Hispanically trafficked business, I guess we'll call it. You know, that's why when Ivanka Trump was holding the fucking beans, wrong way, was holding the fucking beans in her hand, she said, buy fucking Goya products in English and in Spanish. There's a reason for that. It's because that's what it is. So, like, when fucking Hispanic people... I think Hispanic people deserve to know, like, hey, if you're going to buy beans, maybe don't give it to a piece of shit who's supporting this fucking retard. Who's, like, actively trying to have you all, like, kicked out. Who's, like, trying to, like, diminish your fucking rights.
Rising up against this vicious cancel culture.
Vicious cancel
culture. The media, looks through all your old tweets and looks for one mistake. Also, they get... I'm
so tired of cancel culture coming from these fucking people. I'm so fucking tired of it. Cancel culture has always fucking existed. The only difference is that now, cancel culture is democratized. That's it. Cancel culture is now in the hands of anybody who wants to have it. And now, plenty of fucking pompous assholes like CEOs and fucking, like, celebrities and politicians who were previously untouched for their entire careers, suddenly they actually have to hear the criticisms in a way that can't be ignored. People can congregate and decide whether or not they can be listened to. If you get canceled, what's the worst possible thing that fucking happens to you? You lose a little bit of income, people decide not to listen to you. Whether they call it canceling or not is nothing. It's not like you get canceled and you wake up and they find a fucking dagger on a note in the door and you have to fear for your life for the next week. No. What's the problem with, like, just don't say stupid shit, you won't have any consequence. And this guy's not even getting a consequence. He's not. A couple of people floated, maybe boycotting him, and then fucking giant multinational media conglomerates decided, hey, let's make this a top news story. Hey, here's the president of the United fucking States and the president's daughter pushing our fucking products using his platform to push our products. And I'm gonna remind, again, I want to say, these people, they criticize us for having, contradictory ties to corporations. And I guess it's not contradictory. They lick the boots of corporations all the fucking time. But I think it's really fucking funny that these people just they don't have any like compass. They can change their entire ideology on a fucking dime at any moment, at any fucking time. It's absurd to me. It's fucking absurd.
To decide what the mistake is. And then they use that against you to maybe lose your career.
Maybe lose your career. Who the fuck, like, lost their fucking career, really? Like, who the fuck, like, is just like, oh, I made a fucking off-color joke, like, 10 years ago and, like, lost my fucking, like, whole fucking career? Like, you know what fucking happens? Like, people, like, say, like, really fucked up shit 10 years ago, and if they, like, own up to it and they say, like, hey, you know, like, I fucked up, I shouldn't have said that, they'll get a few lumps for a week, you know? There'll be some people on Twitter who may never forgive them for the things that they fucking said, but ultimately they're gonna be okay. No one's ever really been canceled. Like, fucking some more news made an interesting point. Like, Roman Polanski got caught red-handed raping a child, and he still basically had a career after that. Okay? You don't really get canceled for shit. Like, not in that way. All that means is basically spotlighting all the shitty things that people around you in power, believe. And the idea that I'm supposed to not put people in power, like, under a microscope and examine the things that they say and the things that they might believe is fucking bullshit. Fuck that.
Or even, you know, there's been doxing where people's addresses have been published. So it's a troubling trend, and any journalist, left, right, or center, should be concerned about any infringement on free speech.
Any infringement on free speech. What is an infringement on free speech to this fucking dude? It's nothing. It means nothing. If the idea of just, like, not buying a product because you don't like, it's every unconscious bias you have against one product or another an infringement on somebody's rights. If I say I want to get the spicy mustard instead of the regular mustard, is that an infringement of the rights of people to sell regular mustard?
Oh, well said. Well said.
Well said. Cheerio, good chap. Well said. Right on. Bingo.
That's a remarkable success story you've got going here. $160,000 since Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, what a remarkable success story.
Sir,
I think this is just the guy that ran the fucking charity. Now, to be fair, I mean, like, I'm glad that at least, at the very least, something good is coming out of this. Like, this is $160,000 to, from what I understand, food banks. Not just like, I mean, like, it's not like the Chick-fil-A thing where it's just like every fucking politician was cramming into a fast food restaurant like, we're gonna make a difference. No. It's actually going to, like, but, I mean, honestly, I would rather that they just donate the money to the fucking food banks. That would actually be better. Because now, like, every goddamn fucking, like, every one of these food banks are gonna be crammed with, like, beans and shit, which are incredibly high in, like, salts and carbs, which can actually be incredibly unhealthy. Really, you should be donating money to food banks, rather than just a huge bunch of black frijoles.
Well done. Fully behind you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah.
And go for it, young man.
Yeah, you did it. You're a hero. That's all Stuart Varney had to say. No other real, like, criticisms. You never, like, actually... I mean, I don't really expect it anymore, but, like, wouldn't it just be nice if they just even pretended to have, like, a counter-argument thrown up every once in a while? Wouldn't that be just nice? Just to see, like, what this fucking douchebag would have to say to anything I just said, or any of the criticisms that this isn't really an infringement of free speech, or this might be a waste of time. Like, even if it's just, like, a softball, like, tea question. Like, what the fuck is this for? Like, who is this for, really? It's bullshit. And, like, I know this is actually, like, affecting, like, a lot of the populace, because I have a friend of mine who got, like, didn't really get bitched out, per se, but he might as well have been bitched out by some fucking MAGA Karen, who was like, hey, I can't find any of the Goya products here, and, like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't carry any Goya products here. I want to speak to the manager. And the manager is basically like, yeah, we don't have any Goya. Oh, could you, like, put an order for some Goya products? It's like, oh my god. It's like, what kind of Goya products? Like, I don't know, just any Goya products. It's like, okay. Yeah, we're not doing that, sorry. I mean, maybe we will. I don't know. We'll think about it. Like, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but that's basically what it is. People are just going out. And, you know, another good thing that's going to come out of this is that every fucking one of these, like, sycophantic shits who have nothing better to do than to buy beans, they're going to get, like, the lava shits. And it's going to be glorious. I can't wait. Well, I mean, it's not like I can't experience it anyway, but these people, like, you know, none of these people have ever really had flavorful beans or flavorful food in any single way. They're going to taste like a black frijole bean for the first time in like 10 years, and they're just gonna like shit out a volcano and like have like pilonidal cysts coming out of their stomach. It's gonna be great. I love it. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say about this. But the beans. The beans. Don't worry, guys. There's not, like, an economic crisis or anything. There's not a fucking pandemic or nothing. There's not fucking 30% unemployment or anything. There's not a fucking, like, there's not fucking, what else is there? There's 32% friggin', people who might be homeless by next month. Don't worry about that, guys. It's the beans. We gotta worry about the rights of these giant corporations to be able to sell what products whoever they want, regardless of their political opinions. Because something free speech. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Trump's latest fucking stunt. Where the fuck is this? Okay, hold on. Let me put this in the no-no square. Because I feel weird about you guys watching me type for some reason. Oh wait, I can't do that anymore. Fuck. I gotta open this tab, and then I go to the no-no square. Hooray. What the fuck was this video? God damn it, why can't I find this shit? I swear I knew exactly how to get to it like an hour ago. Maybe somebody... I think I saw some TIT Investigates cover the same video. So I can find them. Why can't I even find them now? They're trying to cover it up. Here, you can watch the Bean video again. Now on. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Remember to Mac.
Let's see if I can find just the video here. Sometimes they put it in the description, sometimes they don't. God. Site can't be reached. Fuck me. Entire world.
Maximize welfare. To mention to give illegal.
Alright, we'll just watch this in the front.
Sign new immigrants up for welfare immediately. This is Joe Biden. So they walk off and they come in and they put a foot into our land and we sign up new immigrants up for welfare. We sign them up immediately. They get welfare benefits. United States citizens don't get what they're looking to give illegal immigrants.
Bullshit.
Sign up. It's hard to believe I'm even reading that. New immigrants for welfare immediately.
Immediately. That's not true.
Not to mention the cost.
The cost.
This,
Incalculable.
which is incalculable.
Incalculable. That's what they always
Cost of
say.
this
That's what he
is,
says when he has no idea what the number is.
And
When he doesn't feel like saying big or huge, he says incalculable. Because that's like, that's because he knows like people get tired of hearing him say biggest and hugest.
for immigrant
At least he said it right this time. He wants it calculable.
self-sufficiency and maximize their welfare.
Yeah, that
And
means
this is
nothing.
us writing it. Who's not coming to the United States?
Immigration has been down for a really long fucking time. A lot of people aren't coming to the United fucking States, as a matter of fact. Immigration has actually been at a record low, specifically because of COVID lately. And under Joe Biden, when Obama was president, there was 3 million deportations, even more than you have. Like, you can never be right-wing enough for these fucking people. Isn't that crazy? It's all about fucking optics to them. They can never, like, grasp the world beyond that.
Person from South America is going to pour in. Every person from other countries, they're going to be pouring in. End requirement, think of that, for immigrant self-sufficiency. And remember to maximize welfare. So we're giving a maximum.
What does that mean coming from him? I'm not even sure which document. I'm pretty sure he's just pulling this directly out of his fucking ass. But maximize welfare, does that mean just like everybody gets infinite money?
Then we have massively expand immigration during a global pandemic.
No. Where are you reading this from? Yeah, no, his one fucking piece of, like, legislation that he always points to whenever anybody's like, hey, Trump's not taking any of this pandemic shit seriously. Oh, yeah? Right around the beginning of the virus, Trump banned, immigration from, China. Yeah, take that. Like, but you could just go to China and then go to, like, literally any other country and then come right in. Well, you know, it worked. No, it didn't. Oh, fuck.
Taking jobs from unemployed Americans.
Taking jobs from how can you take a job from an unemployed American? How do you take a job from an unemployed American? How does that make sense? It's fun. It's like it's never like framed like it's the way they. I mean, he doesn't want to say job stealing because that's a little bit too mask off even for him. But that that doesn't make any fucking sense. How do you take a job from an unemployed American? Exactly. And what's always fucking hilarious is that what always gets, they just ignore this fact that there ultimately will be more jobs if you bring in more immigrants. Because with every fucking immigrant you bring in a new fucking person to, like, serve, essentially. You bring a new fucking person who's gonna, invest, like, more money into your pockets and buy more products and buy more goods. And when you, like, slash immigration, you actually hurt jobs for that exact reason. Especially when you remember that 1/3, as according to, I want to say the 2010 census? We don't have census results for the 2021 yet. But as according to the 2010 census, 1/3 of all fucking businesses are started by first-generation immigrants. So, in any other context, they would be job creators, but because they're fucking brown, like, they're job thieves. Yeah, so not only they're coming here to create fucking jobs, starting fucking businesses, but they're also, just by virtue of being here and consuming and working, they're creating fucking jobs. They're creating more jobs than otherwise, because bringing in more immigrants is linked to GDP growth. The only fucking demographic of people that are hurt by the keeping out immigrants is low-earning high school dropouts, which are people that basically earn the minimum wage, and other immigrants. Those are the only two demographics. And we could counteract that exact, everybody fucking wants me. I'm streaming. Fucking phone's ringing again. And we could counteract that with just some decent, like, social welfare policies, which this guy is just shitting on, like, as if he wants any American to have welfare. Like, only, like, I love this. This is not just Trump. This is everywhere. You'll see, like, oh, yeah, no, the immigrants, they get free health care. They get free fucking welfare. They get it all. They're living like kings high on the hog. No, they're fucking not. What fucking planet are these people living on? It's just jealousy at this point. They just assume, like, they just pull this shit directly out of their fucking booty holes. It means nothing coming from them.
End all travel bans, including from jihadist regions. So...
Does that include South America?
Travel bans.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, the cause of 9/11, the fucking people, the architects behind 9/11, they're still free to come here whenever they want.
You said I didn't get the travel ban, and you were wrong. We got
not the one you wanted.
The travel ban. We lost in the Ninth Circuit. We lost again in the Ninth Circuit, and then we won in the Supreme Court. We have a very strong travel ban.
Yeah, very good.
We don't.
Yeah, I think the travel ban he's talking about is just the one that, like, enacted just for COVID. So now he's, like, running around. Like, just the amount of times, like, this motherfucker has just been like, oh, actually, everything's fantastic when everything around you is burning. It's absurd to me.
We don't want people that are going to come in and blow up our cities, do things. And frankly,
yeah, remember, the overwhelming majority of fucking terrorist attacks that happen in this country, the overwhelming majority are fucking white supremacist terrorist attacks, which this motherfucker has been basically offhandedly supporting for his entire fucking presidency.
with
spreading their fucking propaganda as we speak.
Cities that we do have where they do
Democrat-run cities.
Maybe they wouldn't mind, but I would mind, and the people of this country mind.
Yeah, it's crazy how he has so, like, he was talking this shit about, like, Chicago, which is, like, my home city, He was talking this shit like, man, you know, I'm really, really fucking concerned about the 68 people who were shot and killed. I'm very concerned about the children. And it's like, why are they only concerned about this when there's obviously more important shit going on in the world right now? Why is it like, it's almost as if they only care about this shit as a gotcha, as a deflection, as a whataboutism or something. Why? Why do you think that is? It's bullshit. And this motherfucker is gonna claim that he gives a shit about urban city children when he, when he was just a fucking TV host, he bought a fucking full-page ad in the goddamn, I think, New York Times to basically saying that we should be imprisoning the Central Park Five. Didn't give a shit about their testimonies. Didn't give a shit about any of the facts behind the case. Was instrumental in their sentencing. Not instrumental. I'm sorry. He was. He contributed to their sentencing and their fucking used his platform to the best of his ability to put those people in jail. And he's gonna pretend he has a fucking fifth of a goddamn care what happens to children in the inner cities. Fuck him.
So listen to this. End all travel bans.
End all travel bans.
About the ban that I won. That everybody said I didn't win. They said I didn't win because in the lower court we lost. That we lost to the appellate
Keep
division,
rambling.
And then we won in the Supreme Court.
Good job.
Said,
Good job. Your fucking plants won. Good job.
Lost. And they're right at the lower level. But
Yeah, like what a fucking who is this good for again? Reminds me of that episode of fucking The Simpsons where like Ned Flanders like puts like security cameras around everybody's houses, and he asks, he's like, what the fuck is this good for again? Like, how many times have you been blown up since we started spying on everybody? It's like, okay.
In the meantime, we won in the Supreme Court. So it's in effect, but they didn't say that. They said he lost. Which, again, is fake news, but that's the way they do it. So end all travel
His ego
bans,
just can't
including
handle it.
from jihadist regions.
Jihadist regions. Are we gonna slash any of our ties with the jihadist regions we have all around the fucking world? No, I guess not.
That.
I love when he talks as if he isn't the fucking president. I love when he talks like, oh, like, we gotta end the war with fucking Afghanistan, as if he can't do that any fucking minute.
Grant mass amnesty.
Mass
Everybody
amnesty.
gets amnesty.
Or
Mass
like,
amnesty.
you mean like what Reagan
Think of
wanted?
that. And this is create a roadmap to citizenship for massive
Oh no,
numbers.
they're gonna come in here, guys. They're gonna come here, take your wife, take your job, take your kids. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming to boost the GDP growth.
Talking about DACA because I'm going to take care of DACA much better than.
What happened to I like the legal way of getting into the country? What happened to I have no problem with legal immigrants? But it seems like they have they don't have a problem with legal immigration. They just want to undermine and undersell every form of legal immigration, so that the only way to get back into the country legally is to suck the president's bruised inch for a fucking Einstein visa. It's crazy. Crazy.
Than the Democrats did. The Democrats had their chance, and they blew it.
Yeah. This is what he's talking about. I remember this shit. He made some like fucking offhanded accusation of a deal. Like, I don't remember what it was, but he put some shit on the table like, hey, I won't cut DACA if you sign more of my fucking tax cuts for the rich or some shit, or some like ultra Republican thing. It's like, you're going to give us something that we could just get back like 4 years from now. Like some shit that you took away from us in exchange for you putting your ultra-Republican shit. Like, nobody's gonna fucking vote for that. Fuck you. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm happy that I failed because, like, honestly, I wouldn't have put it above Nancy Pelosi if there was like a more of a Republican majority to do that shit, to agree to that fucking deal, because fuck her. But like the idea that he's like trying so hard to reach out an olive branch. No, he's fucking not. Put a fucking gun to your head and acts like he's trying to help. Like, fuck you.
But we're gonna take care of DACA because I'm gonna be doing. In the not too distant future, pretty soon.
Here's why DACA fucking like scares me a little bit. I mean, I'm probably fine because my mother is a native-born American, but my fucking father is a first-generation immigrant, and there is some argument to be made that I might be an anchor baby. I might be, because some of the circumstances around my parents' separation is a little suspicious. Like, around 7 years after Dad fucking got married to my mom, you know, they got separated, which is about, like, just past, like, the thing you need to get, like, guaranteed citizenship in America. Is he just gonna slash, like, citizenship for my father and, by extension, slash citizenship for me? Is he gonna ship me off to fucking Palestine or something? A place that I know almost nothing about? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how these fuckers think. And like, and if I'm not certain, like, why the fuck should I believe that like any of the fucking Mexicans who are concerned with the fucking Goya foods, fucking fucking worshiping the president? Why should the fuck? How I can only imagine what they're thinking, what they're afraid it might happen.
I'm going to be signing a new immigration action, very, very big merit-based immigration action. And
Merit-based.
based on the DACA
What does
decision.
merit-based mean coming from him? What does it mean coming from him? Because he earlier in this fucking speech he was talking about like how they're coming here to steal Americans' jobs. Like is it, like what if they're really good at a job and they're stealing from an even better American, or like just from a regular American? Like what? You have a problem with American doctors? You have a problem with American engineers? You want to bring in these foreign engineers? Like no, fuck you. It means nothing coming from him.
I'll be able to do. Vastly expand low-skilled immigration to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So they want a lot of people come in with low skills.
Uh-huh.
I like merit.
I like merit. No, you don't. Yeah, here's the thing. Our entire economy is pretty much based on this low-class labor. It really is. Arizona tried this experiment where they were like, hey, we're going to get rid of all the fucking brown people. We're going to card random people and ask them for their papers. And when the, and when they tried to roll this out, and when they realized, oh shit, nobody's lining around the block to pick our fucking fruits in 120-degree weather for minimum wage, they realized, okay, fine, we can have our immigrants back. But we're going to be real fucking nasty about it. This shit doesn't work. As much as they bitch and moan about it, they require it. And this is a boogeyman coming from him, because like if anybody really wanted to fucking fuck with to fuck with like immigration laws, all they would really have to do is hammer down on these companies that bring in immigrants by the busloads on their own dime, and then just like hoard them and work them for like minimum wage or less. That's all they would really have to do, but they're not really interested in that. They just want excuse me. They just want a boogeyman. Like if ants are like, if there's like ants all over your house and there's like a pile of donuts on the floor, you don't just kill all the ants. You get rid of the donuts, right?
Think of that. Vastly expand low-skilled immigration.
I mean, I don't even know what he's reading. This is just some shit, and he's like reading it like it's like an authority. Like he basically just started this off reading this list as if like he got it right from Antifa HQ or something. Like what the fuck?
United States. These are the things that are in the plan.
These
This
are
is
things
Biden.
This is
Biden's
Biden.
gone radical left.
Radical left.
Increase refugee admissions
Radical left means absolutely fucking nothing anymore. Holy shit.
by 700%.
Like you're almost making Biden seem cool. Don't you understand that?
Huh.
Wait, what the? I didn't hear the
By
last part.
7. Increase refugee admissions by 7.
Spooky refugees.
100%.
Hey guys, remember when the Syrian refugees came in? I mean, not the Syrian, the fucking Somalian refugees came in and they absolutely destroyed the fucking American population. The sun just never rose again. The oceans dried up. Everything just went to shit. Oh yeah, no, me neither. Remember when the Syrian refugees we got like a fraction of them in? The entire right wing lost their shit, but really nothing happened. We even have a Somalian refugee, is she a refugee? Yeah, she's a refugee in Congress now. They're really integrating. They're integrating. It's crazy. They're becoming Americans. Huh. Is that not a merit-based refugee? And she gets tons of shit from this fucker, too.
Huh. That's a lot. By 700%.
700%.
Nobody's ever heard of such a thing.
Somebody's ever heard of
Increase
700%.
Refugee admissions by 700%.
700%.
So I want to thank everybody. And
I love the
we'll be
accusatory
having these
tone.
conferences. Again, we're going to be signing an immigration act very soon. It's going to be based on merit.
Could be based on
Be
merit.
very strong.
Very strong. Very big. Very strong. Very good. Very good. Do you think he's gonna get like on like Biden's level at any point? That's a weird thing. So Biden actually has like an interesting strategy that I'm kind of not sure how Trump's going to react. Because he's almost trying to outright Trump in a lot of ways. I don't know if Biden's smart enough. I mean, I don't know what Biden's gonna do. I mean, I think he's going to aim for like I think he's got to like separate himself from fucking Trump and really like be like, I'm a fucking man of the fucking immigrants kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's just bullshit. It infuriates me that, like, honestly, so much of this fucking, like, speech is just based on it's just literally just him, like, being like, they're going to increase immigrants and refugees. They're gonna do it. and like there's no care for whether or not if you could, even if you demonstrate to these fucking people that would actually improve the economy in every single fucking way for most people in the economy, for the overwhelming majority, the only people being like the ultra poor, who these Republicans only give a shit about when it gives an opportunity to shit on brown people. you could improve life in every single fucking way, but they're just like, refugees, 700%, 700%, that's a big number. Are you really comfortable with 700% of refugees and immigrants who are low skilled yet are going to take your job, you unemployed person? Bullshit. Like, they really think that the economy works. Like, there's only, like, a set number of jobs and you can never create another job. Like, if you had... Oh my god, I've already explained this. I don't even know why I have to go through it again. But yeah. Fuck this guy, he's a fucking moron. Fuck him. Destroyed. Ugh. Who else did I want to cover? Oh, there was one more I wanted to do. I don't know if I have time for it, so I'll probably have to go through pretty quickly. Shit. Wait, is that in the no-no square? That is not in the no-no square. I'm gonna put this in the no-no square now. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. Yes, carry us, refugees. Are we really going to have 700,000 billion trillion refugees? No. No. And low-skilled workers? He wants only the high-skilled workers. I'm still on this point. Trump actually, like, Trump's fucking policies got rid of, like, a fucking, of, like, an Indian, immigrant who was educated in American, like, colleges, who developed this, like, incredibly successful app that, like, employed, like, 70,000 people. Or maybe I think that's an exaggeration, but a lot of fucking people. And that dude, like, couldn't get citizenship in Trump's America. And now he's making jobs for India instead of fucking, in America. Yeah, it's really merit-based. But if he was a fucking hot fucking, Russian chick who was sucking the president's dick, despite being half his fucking age, you know, I'm sure he would find the merit in that. I'm sure. You know what? I think I'm just going to pick a random, good-sounding, like, PragerU video. And, we'll just see. There was one that looked interesting to me. Yeah. Minimum wage cost me my job. I don't know if I wanted to cover that one. It's a good one. I'll just watch this one. This is a short one. I don't know what this is. I haven't seen this yet. Okay, welcome to cancel culture. Destroying America. On. June Company's products announced that products would be rebranded. Look at how angry she is. To avoid enforcing racist stereotypes. Terrible. Horrible. What is this fucking music? These brands are no longer politically correct. Aunt Jemima. Yeah. Horrible. Your fucking syrup is gone. Don't get between a fucking conservative and this high fructose corn syrup. Don't do it. Because they will fucking, like, tear your goddamn jugular out. They need it. They need it. Eskimo pie. Yeah. From what I understand... first of all, I've never even heard of a fucking Eskimo pie. Also, like, look, I mean, I've already covered the fucking Aunt Jemima shit to an extent, but so really quickly, if you want to honor a black, like, entrepreneur, who I don't even think she was technically an entrepreneur. I think she was just a mascot, actually, Aunt Jemima herself. Maybe don't name them after a fucking minstrel show character. Maybe call them by their actual name. Just a thought. Eskimo pie. I mean, I've heard some argument on why Eskimo might not be the best. I mean, okay, again, I haven't seen any of these fucking people respond to, like, really public pressure. They kind of just did it on their own. They kind of just realized, oh shit, the market trends are turning in a certain way. We don't want to be the company that's associated with racial slurs. Eskimo, I don't know if that's a racial slur. I've heard some argument for why it is, because it's not really a term that they chose for themselves. It's one that was made on them by, like, colonists, and maybe you should be referring to them as Inuits instead. But from what I understand, they aren't necessarily totally offended by it. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. And it just seems to be like almost a turn of phrase that they might use, which maybe that's just like how maybe we shouldn't be also using the N-word. But yeah, I don't know. It's not as bad as some of these other ones, I don't think. But I mean, I understand why these companies would bow to public pressure. Is it not like their right as a company to make these decisions on their own? Uncle Ben's, another fucking minstrel show character. The dude's name was Frank, and he was a fucking like hotel like manager who was working like service, and he was one of those white gloved dudes. And like they couldn't even give him the like, and like yeah, they made him the face of their company for like a stipend or whatever the fuck, and gave him and they named him after our minstrel show character. Cream of wheat. What? The fuck are they talking about? Mrs. Butterworth. Okay, again, nobody fucking asked them. Nobody's even really sure what the racial identity of Mrs. Butterworth's is. So whatever. Oh my god, are they really just gonna be? This is the whole fucking video. It's like things are different now. You look on the shelf and things are slightly different. What the fuck? Oh, I need to know what the fuck this is. Cream of wheat. Is that literally just the soup? Controversy. Oh, whoops. Okay, so there's a black guy on the label. Cream of wheat reviewing mascot. Alright, let's see. Well, what is the controversy with this? Let me get out the images. I was hoping... Well, you see some of these are a little slightly more yikesier. Maybe I'm just, like, deluded because they're slightly older. But let's see. Seems to be an article about this. Oh, but yeah, no. Here I am. I call myself, you know, anti-corporate. Here I am defending corporations. Tisk, tisk, motherfucking tisk. Hold on. Cream of Wheat's Rastus is being called out over the character's name, which has historically been used as a derogatory way to refer to black men. Rastus. Yeah, just another instance of, like, just a random product on the shelf that just is associated with just a racial slur. And just because we kind of forgot about it. And these people are gonna, like, these are the fucking fights that they're fighting. These are the hills they're dying on. They don't really get, like, there's fucking, all this shit that's happening in the world, and this is, like, the top fucking concern of PragerU right now. Jesus Christ. Mrs. Buttersworth. Temporarily moved the classic film Gone with the Wind from its streaming for, like a couple of weeks. I think it's back already, actually. So, they took it down because it was kind of one of those films that glorified the Confederacy. Oh, but it had some black actresses that were really that were nominated for their roles, and it's like, yeah, you know, it's a very respectful film, you know, obviously, but all that happened, they didn't erase the film from fucking history. They took it off their service, and they're adding like something to the beginning. It's like, hey, look, some of these things might be a little fucking yikesy. Here's the context of the times. Enjoy the film. That's all that's happening. Paw Patrol. Yeah. I do like all these propaganda shows being taken down, honestly. So many fucking... I mean, Paw Patrol's probably not the best example of this. I've never seen an episode of Paw Patrol because, you know, I'm an adult and I watch adult movies. A lot of the criticism of... Like, honestly, I hate so many of the criticisms of these shows. They're probably going to talk about Cops in a second. Hold on. Yep. Cops and Live PD were also canceled. Cops and Live PD. Like, now this isn't exactly the example I was thinking of. I was thinking more like NCIS or CSI. But, those shows where cops, like, storm into, like, underprivileged communities, like, terrorizing, like, minorities and poor people over, like, little drug offenses with military-grade weapons, that instills, like, a fear in the populace. I mean, this isn't an original observation, but that's all that show does. I think, Bill Hicks said that's all that show does is instills fear in the populace. There's also a great joke I heard. What's his name? Eric Andre. Eric Andre was like, why the fuck does Cops have a Jamaican song in the beginning? You know, get down, motherfucker, get down, go blow your fucking brains out. Under the sea, under the sea. It's like, and also, you know, like, Jamaican music has always been about anti-authority and anti-police and anti-government. If not that, it's anti-drug. Unless it's made by, like, fucking Canadians or some shit. which for whatever reason, like reggae is really popular in Canada. But yeah. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be glorifying the police. Maybe it's so sad that we have to rethink how we look at these institutions. It's so sad. We should always be beholden to the ideals that we had forever and never rethink anything we've ever thought once in our lives. Joe Rogan, J.K. Rowling, and Drew Brees. Okay, yeah, some people have come after Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, honestly, I have my criticisms of him. I think he's irresponsible with the influences that he grants people and his guests. I think that he's very selective, that even when he picks guests that come on to, like, be more liberal, they're always there derided in a conversation to be fucking, to be almost more critical of the left than they are of the right. You know, when he gets Kyle Kalinske on, the conversation always kind of moves to, like, oh, you know, Trump can still win because the liberals suck. Or when he gets fucking Crystal Ball and Cigar on, it's like, you know, we can all just get along with fascists, you know? It's crazy how the conversation moves. J.K. Rowling, she can go fuck herself. Never liked her books. And I think even back then, I knew I was a trans ally. I just saw it in her. That's why I never read past fucking Chamber of Secrets. And Drew Brees, I don't fucking know. He's probably a piece of shit. He plays football. Big football guy. Hey, why are we standing up for football's a football player's right to to express whatever political opinion he wants anymore? Shouldn't he just shut up and dribble? Or shut up and play? Shut up and pick up the ball and throw it? I don't know. For simply questioning the narrative. For just asking questions. Free speech is a victim of cancel culture. Again, all cancel culture is a... I mean, cancel culture has always been utilized since, like, so long as humans have been social creatures. We've always decided to distance ourselves from people that we didn't like and to voice our opinions against people we don't like. The difference is that these people, for their entire fucking lives, haven't been on the wrong end of the cancel culture because the cancel culture has been monopolized in their time by giant corporations that cater society around to them, cater movies and popular culture around to them. Like, when you turn on fucking, like, you'll watch, like, Pocahontas, a movie directed at children, which, like, both sides is the fucking genocide. You know, like, oh, wait, they think we're the savages. It's just shit made comfortable for white fucking producers and white consumers. But for the first time, like, the majority is really being questioned in this act, and these people are fucking just, they can't handle it. Stop caving to the mob. Time to cancel culture. Alright, I think that's just the whole video. Yeah, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's take a look at some of these juicier comments. I got a few more minutes. I probably should message that special guest in a moment, the mystery guest, but he's gonna be on in a few minutes, I'm sure. Let's see what these geniuses have to say. Cancel culture is becoming a cancer for the society, This guy lives in a society. Healthcare not fair is his name. Political correctness is just fascism disguised. Yeah, you think George Carlin would agree with this, dude? You think George Carlin would, like, agree with, like, anything half these people have to say? Fuck no. Don't be afraid to question the narrative, even if they hate you. Okay. Just, like, just one fucking... The 3 dislikes are from an SJWs. Okay. Somebody should do a meme of the SJWs tearing down the pyramid since the Egyptians had slaves. Ooh. Oh, shit. Fucking got him. Yeah, the difference between, like, the pyramids and, say, like, a Confederate statue is that the pyramids is actually a site, you know? It's actually, like, where those incidents happened. It's, like, the equivalent of tearing down a Nazi statue versus tearing down Auschwitz. Like, one's actually covering up history, the other is just covering up I mean, not covering up, just destroying a fucking... monument to it, I guess. Hold on. Gotta call fucking our mystery guest. Who could he be? Gotta make sure he's up for this. Let me see if I can private message him. I'm not kind of new to Discord. We're setting this up right now. Probably should have done this about an hour ago to make sure, but whatever, it's fine. Here's some elevator music that I'm doing with my mouth. La 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 la. Hey, you ready soon? Question mark? Alright. We're waiting. He's messaging. Hold on. Maybe I should put this, we'll be right back. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Scooby-Doo. Where the fuck is this dude? Come on. I'm kind of new to Discord, so this might be a little hard. No. No, 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 no. Come on, jump on it. My invite. Let's go now. Okay. Okay. Now we could take this off. He'll be joining in a minute. Who is this mystery guest? Hold on, let me message him the video. Okay, let's see. We should be getting ready for a second. Oh, hey, Alex messaged me. All right. Let me see if I can find the link for the stream so I can send it to him. Shouldn't be this hard to do. Is he messaging me on my phone? Hold on. Everybody's waiting on you, mystery guest. Come on. Can I put this in? Okay. I'm gonna take this down. I'm gonna put my window capture up. Wait, no. Window capture, I'm gonna close that. Or either I'll keep that up and then display capture. just to make this easier on me. There we go. Done. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Some of you already know who that is. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Two new messages. You're in the call. The fuck? Hold on. Join the call. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear myself. Hold on. Hello? Can you hear me? Strange. Let's try this again. Hold on.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
There we go. I was
Sweet.
trying to join earlier, but you didn't. I was by myself. I didn't like being lonely, so I left.
Oh, okay. Sweet, sorry. I'm kind of new to Discord.
It's okay.
How have you been?
Pretty good. Discord was actually down earlier, so
Oh, really? I didn't
just
know.
now came back up. Yeah.
Oh.
You chose the perfect time to do this.
Well, sweet. Yeah, I actually took it down just to make sure that it was safe just for now. So I think it's actually the first time I've ever heard your voice.
I'm sorry, what?
I think this is actually... I'm sorry, I talk really fast. I think this is actually the first time I've ever heard your voice.
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
I hate the sound of my own voice, so I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. You sound great, actually. I was actually expecting a little bit more... I don't know. Well, keep that to myself. Anyway.
Wait, you expected it to be more what?
I'm going to keep that to myself before I hurt someone's feelings.
Okay, well, now my feelings are hurt.
No, I'm just kidding. What should I call you? What's your name exactly?
I mean, Bat Canary works perfectly, if that's
Okay.
okay with you.
Hey.
It's my Discord name.
All right, cool. I mean, I don't know. I guess I was expecting to call you Jesus this whole time. All right.
So what's the debate? What are we debating?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if we were necessarily... I mean, we can debate if you want to, but, I mean, I was just kind of hoping just to talk, honestly.
Okay, how about Femboy Hooters versus Catgirl Denny's? I don't know, what's the...
Catgirl Denny's is the better one by far. I know that Femboy Hooters is the meme, but, yeah, we need Catgirl Denny's. We also need BBW Denny's.
I feel like that's too heteronormative, though. We already have enough of these restaurants to appeal to the hetero male eye. We need more. We need something to appeal more to the ladies and to the gays, you know?
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, is the reason we have to have something that appeals to the greater market share, you know? Something that is as niche as Femboy, something that's not going to carry a business for too long.
Well, honey, if
Also-
it's not popular if we make it popular. We make this business and then we force society to like it.
It's true. I mean, that is part of the agenda. It's on the docket somewhere.
It's part of my agenda.
Sweet. Did you get your Soros letter yet? I'm a little
I don't
late.
get letters. I get direct deposit. What am I, a boomer?
Ah, damn. Gotta get that figured out. So yeah, I mean, honestly, one thing I did notice when I was pulling up your information on Facebook is your descriptor, and I think we could maybe talk about it. Your like description for your profile is Bernie or Bust 2020.
Oh, I haven't edited that in a while. I'm kind of, you know, I've been pretty adamant about, you know, I fucking hate Joe Biden. But
Right.
also, with all the shit going on recently, I feel like I can't really, you know,
Right.
I wouldn't feel good fighting for this cause. If people want to vote for Biden, I'd totally support that.
Yeah. Where do you live exactly, if you don't mind saying?
I live in California, so my vote doesn't matter. For
Okay.
me, it's more of a matter of, you know, I spend a lot of time arguing on the internet like a real, you know, millennial.
Right.
I'm a Zoomer. I guess
Yeah.
I'm a Zoomer, but I mean, Zoomers do it too. So for me, it's more of a thing of, I'm going to have arguments with people on the internet. Do I want to expend energy explaining why Joe Biden is garbage and how if he wins, it might damage the party when
Yeah.
this asshole in office is, cutting LGBT rights. He's not handling the COVID thing
Like
in
at
any
all.
reasonable way whatsoever.
Yeah.
And trying to sick the military on protesters. Yeah, it's kind of a bad idea.
Right. Terrible. What was I gonna say? How do you feel about like me still voting like third party though? Because I live in Illinois.
I mean, isn't Illinois is Illinois a blue state? I don't.
It's basically a blue state. It's basically a blue state.
Yeah. Then no.
Yeah.
I mean, my view is if you live in a blue state, if you live in a blue or even some red states, I know some red states are up for grabs this time around. It'll be pretty fascinating. But if you live in like a solid red state that went like 80% for Trump last time,
Right.
you're probably better. It's probably better off for you to support the Green Party because your vote isn't going to matter.
Right.
If you live in a blue, I live in California, I will be voting Green myself. If you live in a blue state, vote Green. Vote your conscience basically. If you really like Joe Biden for some reason, maybe you're a neoliberal too. Vote for Joe Biden. But if you live in a swing state, I'd probably suggest you vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah, probably. It seems kind of weird to me though that like it seems like the case for like the overwhelming majority of states is that you probably should always be voting for third party in the overwhelming majority of states, but yet people don't vote for third party enough to get them on the ballot. Because like in so many states, like if you live in a solid red state, it doesn't matter if you vote. If you live in a solid blue state, it doesn't matter in your vote. So just like a small handful of states does voting actually fucking matter. Like, how does it not like dawned on the public consciousness yet that you can like really just like hamper these parties and you don't really have to pick the lesser of two evils?
Right. Well, it's the whole what is it? The self-fulfilling prophecy where it's like I'm not going to vote Green because they have no chance of winning, but then everyone thinks that way, so that's why they have no chance of winning.
Right. No, it's absurd how that works.
To be fair, I went to the Green Party convention. Someone took me on a date there. It was a Zoom date, but they paid $100 for me to go. I couldn't say no to that. We went and I mean, it was interesting. It was fascinating. They have some interesting takes. They went over like how to do media and stuff, but some of it, I mean, I can see why to the average person, because even me as like I'm a crazy far leftist. When I was in there, I was a little like, maybe it's just like the presentation, maybe it's my bougie gayness, but when I'm watching it, it's like you can watch a Democratic Party like presentation, it's all like well put together, and they have all these whatever, and then the Green Party, it's like they mean really well, but a lot of their presentation is very boomer like.
Right.
Like, they have a slideshow with an old PowerPoint that looks like they made it in high school, and they're going over like certain things that might seem a little conspiracy-ish to the average person, rather than just like it doesn't seem like a serious party where it should be. They should be more legitimate rather than like a fringe outside party, which I know which one of its appeals, but
yeah,
I think if you're going to be any more serious, you can't be a fringe party talking about well, they control the media, which they do, but I mean, like, you don't have to talk about, like, they control the media, but, like, for example, I saw someone say, I made a website, but it doesn't show up on Google. This is because they don't want they don't want my website to be out there. They don't want to see my website. I'm a Green candidate running for office. And the person running the Zoom call was like, oh, they do that, so be careful. Try to get around it by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't doubt Google has some sort of nefarious crap going on, but I have a good feeling that's not what they didn't target you specifically. I think it's just maybe you're not getting enough traffic or something. That's not really how Google works.
I mean, also, like, Google is tailored to the experience of anybody who's like watching. I mean, whoever's searching. Like, you can, that's why DuckDuckGo is an interesting resource, because like it just has none of that like tailoring to your experience. So if you really want to see like what the average person sees whenever you Google a certain term, you should always use that.
Right.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, it seems weird. Like, if you're going to demonstrate, like, propose yourself, I mean, on the Green Party thing. I mean, I've never actually seen one of these demonstrations of the Green Party, but it feels like you should probably, if you're going to demonstrate yourself as some kind of radical, you should probably like you should at least learn some video editing skills or commission some art.
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of talent on YouTube you can hire.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of people that would, like, fucking Cal Kalinske, until as of, like, a month ago, was, like, a fucking huge voice for the Burn Your Bus community. So, like, in that moment, you could have gotten somebody to make something for you. Seems strange to me.
Or even just, like, an outsider. I mean, you can hire people to do jobs.
Honestly, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even if you don't agree with them, or even if they don't need to be a Green Party, supporter to make a good editing job of this.
Right. I wish they would really just hard sell the 5%. Like, honestly, that's what I really wish they would do. I wish they would stop like presenting themselves as if they have a fifth of a chance of hell of winning, and just present themselves like, hey, look, we know this isn't going to happen. We get just 5% of people like voting for us in this election. Next election will come like ripping and tearing everybody a new asshole.
Oh, absolutely, and also focusing on local elections. I mean,
absolutely,
Howie Hawkins is not going to be president, but
no,
you know,
fuck
like
no.
You're right. If he gets 5%, they get federal funding, and maybe next time around they'll just be better.
Yeah.
And if you focus on the local elections, I mean, there's a good. I mean, I think some of them have won those, right? Like city council ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've won any like Senate seats or House seats, but I mean, it's a start.
I mean, yeah, it's
start
something.
off locally, work their way up.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that like you can affect the average person can affect their life way better by voting down to ballot like in their own communities. Like the mayor probably has way more of an effect on their life than the president does, but they don't give a shit about the mayor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've even when I was burning or bust, I always recommended that you'd go if you weren't going to vote for Biden, you should still go and still vote Democrat down the ballot,
right?
And just not vote for Biden or vote for Howie Hawkins or whatever. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote down party Dems. I don't care who they are, just Dem, and then vote probably Howie Hawkins just for that 5%. For that 5%, that's the goal.
Yeah, no, that's always the goal. Honestly, at this point, I would just be happy if they got 1%. Just because, like, that's more than double what they got last election cycle, and I just kind of want to put some, like, fear into the Democrats, saying, like, hey, look, some people are willing to throw away their vote rather than vote for you, so, like, an increasing number of people.
And that's with Trump being your opponent.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, it's just tough being alive right now.
Yeah. I mean, I just imagine if it was like, I mean, I doubt they'll ever go back to this time, but if it was Mitt Romney running against Joe Biden, I imagine there'd be a lot more Green Party support. But because it's Trump, people are a little more scared. People are a little more, and rightfully, but they're a little more like, oh no, we can't afford this guy to win again. We need him to lose. Like, so if the Green Party manages to get 1 or 2% while Trump is going against the Democrats, like it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, that is a pretty big deal. I mean, I don't know. Do you really think like something tells me I feel like this is almost the calm before the storm. I feel like Trump is probably just gonna end up walking away with this election. Do you think that's unfounded?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like, knowing Joe Biden, I think he's just going to fuck it up immediately. I think, like, they're hiding him away for good reason, but I just don't trust that he's not going to fuck it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think from what I heard recently, his polling is, like, crazy high, but...
Right.
I mean, like he's doing way, way, way better than Hillary did. I think at this point, Hillary was 2% above Trump, and I think he's at 9 right now or something, and, like, he's winning a lot of swing states pretty, like, dramatically.
Might even win Texas.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Right.
I mean, if the election were today, it'd be a sweep. I mean, just from what the data would say.
Right.
But there's still like 4 months left. For perspective, 4 months ago, Bernie still had a chance of winning. Like,
yeah,
4 months ago. So
yeah, shit changes fast.
4 months is a very, very long time in politics, and the debates haven't happened. Joe Biden is very good at messing things up. I mean, this is like his 23rd time trying to run for president.
Yeah.
I mean. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a guaranteed win yet. Absolutely not. But it's a good chance. It's a good chance.
Mm-hmm. One thing I did want to
talk about this handling COVID. I think if Trump and the Republicans were to have, I mean, that will like, I mean, I was already like on the edge, especially because of the whole, I'm going to stick the military on protesters thing. Yeah. And I was already like, okay, this guy needs to go. But then when they said that there wasn't going to be another stimulus package or that they would not extend unemployment and blah, 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 a lot of people are relying on this shit. I'm relying on some of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when they said that just so brazenly, I'm like, I want all of you out. I don't even care who beats you. I don't care if fucking Hillary Clinton comes back. And I just want you all out.
Which is a possibility.
Yeah, scarily enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I imagine I'm not the only one that thinks that. People probably saw that, like, oh, shit, I've been, you guys shut down my job. I can't go back to work. And now you're not going to extend unemployment. How dare you?
Right.
I'm not going to vote for you.
And I was going to cover it, but I ran out of time before calling you. They are going to slash the taxes for the rich again as a response to COVID. So more money for trillionaires.
Jeez. It's like Republicans and cutting taxes for the rich.
Yeah.
Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, no. One joke I made was like the White House could be on fire with Trump's whole family inside, and his solution would be cutting taxes for the rich. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I like this Alex Kennedy person. I just read the chat.
Oh yeah, that's a friend of mine. He's like a neighbor. He does not. He's the definition of a griller. He does not give a shit about politics one way or another, no matter what I try.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
keep that way, Alex. Keep that way for your mental health.
I mean, he's definitely a happier person than I am, to be fair. Like, I mean, I've swayed over grillers like him before. I think I can get him. I think it's possible. I just gotta find the one issue he really cares about.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, everyone has some issue that's really important to them, but I have found that it's very rare for you to find someone super invested in politics that's very happy.
Yeah, no. It is like the ultimate black pill, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, for some people, I mean, I've heard the argument that some people think that it's, you know, like, for example, like if you're like a gay Hispanic with illegal immigrant parents, like,
right,
stuff probably really matters to you.
Right.
It's like, you know,
reminds me of like you ever read Frederick Douglass, An American Slave?
I have not. I know who he is.
Right. So like Frederick Douglass, An American Slave, was talking about like how like he was like in a very privileged position when he was a slave, that he was like in an upstate community with like a very friendly person who like when like the headmaster was away would like teach him how to read, and like he basically like as soon as he understood how to read, like an immense like wealth of sadness like overwashed him. As soon as he understood like this ability to get new perspective and began to like see the world beyond him, he became like immediately like, horribly depressed. And I guess that's kind of just what I feel is like every time I learn a little bit more about something, I just get way fucking sadder.
I agree. I find that the best way to try to avoid this is obviously like the world is very negative, and especially right now, it's impossible to just pretend that it isn't. And, oh, you know, things are great. And like, you know, obviously, like Joe Biden, for example, he might win. Is that really a good thing? You know, you can have all these fights in your head, but at the same time, I think it's the healthiest thing you can do is just, you know, take a pragmatic approach to it.
Right.
As far as you can. I mean, again, some people can't, like, people that are going to die because they don't have insurance next year can't really afford to be pragmatic about a Joe Biden presidency. He's not going to help them.
My insurance is going to run out. I was really putting my hopes on getting unionized before the end of the year, but then I got fired because of COVID, laid off because of COVID, and I'm going to be 26 by like March. So, and that's when my fucking insurance runs out.
Ooh, happy very early birthday.
Yeah. Very happy. I was really pinning my hopes on it. I was going to get hired, but then this COVID shit affected the business, and they only wanted union workers, and it was like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to fucking go back to, like, work enough to... I mean, because I work as a machinist. I do a lot of engineering with, like, manufacturing, like, metal parts and things, and oil pumps, and... it's all just gig work, and now it's so hard to find any work right now. The job market is fucking terrible.
Right. No, absolutely. Are you on unemployment?
I was on unemployment, but it ran out. I mean, I'm in a fortunate enough spot. I'm actually still shacking with my parents right now, but I'm in a fortunate enough spot where I'm saving up a lot of money. I've still got more than enough money to survive for probably the next like 2 years if it comes down to that. But yeah, it's just really fucking tough because I was actually planning on moving out. Like honestly, I had plans to move out like 2 months ago, have my own place, but then all this happened. It just really...
Right. No, I mean, this would not be a good time for that, absolutely.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible time for gig work. I have to go back to... I'm getting a job back as a fucking busser now, which is what I did when I was like 19, because that's the only work I can get now. Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, we'll have to see what happens with COVID in the next few months. I mean, things are only getting worse. People also don't realize that.
Right.
They think, oh, things are reopening. That means that, you know, it's a little better than it was a few months ago. They don't... No, it's actually a lot worse. It's just...
Yeah.
We just decided to kind of just close our eyes and be like, oh, well, you know, screw this. I'm done.
Just
going
theater.
back.
God. How are you holding up, by the way?
I'm sorry?
I think I already asked you that, but how are you holding up?
How am I holding up during COVID? Well, I mean, my you know, I work part-time at a fast food place while I go to school, so I'm not exactly like, you know, I don't have my career yet or anything. But I used to work like 4 to 5 days a week, almost a full-time schedule. School, I didn't, I was able to get summer classes because the whole system was confusing with the online stuff.
Right.
I'm kind of a boomer with that sense.
Right.
And I'm going into computers, mind you. Good luck, everyone else in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got my hours cut like really bad, and because like COVID, everyone's fighting for hours. Oh, my husband got laid off. I need to do full time now. Oh, my partner got laid off.
Right.
I'm the one paying the bills now, so I need to work full time. So I'm working like 2 days a week, which is basically enough to get my car. But just last week I qualified for unemployment because of my underemployment. So for the next 2 weeks at least, I get a cool $600 a week, which won't be a lot, but it'll help me maintain my car payments for the next 2 months. I don't want them to tow my car.
Right.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I mean, as far as getting COVID, I'm pretty sure I have a good feeling I had it already.
Like, you really think so?
Maybe, like April. Yeah, like in April maybe. I got like really, really sick. This was right before, I think it was before spring break, or I think exactly as soon as spring break started. Like towards the end of March, beginning of April. I got very, very sick, and it lasted about 2 weeks. And you know, when I get the flu, it's really nasty for like 3 or 4 days, and then it starts dying down.
Right.
In this case, it didn't. It just stayed exactly the same for like 2 weeks, and I didn't go to the doctor because I was like, you know, I don't want to go. So I mean, work told me to stay home. They're like, oh no, stay home, don't come to work if you're sick. We don't want to risk it. I avoided talking to anyone. I mostly DoorDashed all my food or delivery, whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, for about 2 weeks, and after like in the middle of the second week, it started getting a lot better. But I had all the symptoms of it basically. I had like a really bad flu or a fever. I couldn't really breathe very well. If I stood up and tried to walk around, I started getting really dizzy. It felt like whenever you try to breathe, it felt like someone was sitting on you. Like if you picture someone, I mean, I've never had someone sit on me, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but if
well,
you
there's always time.
sit on your chest or something, right?
You're still
like
young.
Right, like pressure on your chest and try to like inhale and it doesn't go all the way in. It was a very uncomfortable situation, but I'm pretty sure I had it already. So I think you can't get it again once you get it. So I'm a little covered there. My mom's diabetic, so if I were to give it to her, it'd be catastrophic.
Right. I have I live with my aunt who is like has like a lot of like immunocompromised issues. She actually has like full blown AIDS actually, and yeah. And I've been trying to do my best to be as careful as possible, you know. And it's really tough because I don't want that on my fucking shoulders. I've heard it's like dropping dead because fucking I need a cheeseburger or something. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And they don't realize how, because people come to like my fast food place and they get super like, they get overtly like, you know. And I understand, but it's a little annoying sometimes too when they come to the drive-thru. They're just like making sure like if I touch like I grab their bag or whatever and I hand it out to them, they're like, wait, did you wash your hand right before this? And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I did, you know, don't worry. We're being as precautious as possible. But also, if you're that worried, maybe you just shouldn't go out to eat. I mean, someone is handling your food. Someone is making your food. You realize, like, someone is in the back in the kitchen grabbing the food, putting it together with their hands. Like,
yeah, restaurant food is disgusting under the best of circumstances. I've worked in fast food as a line cook. Like you will. I don't know how many times I've sweat on like somebody's pizza or something. Like it just happens, and you don't want to fucking throw it away and make a new one because like fuck that. I'll wipe some toast on my brow if I have to. I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, in this case, they have us, you know, it's more the illusion of you're being safe, or you're being clean. But, I mean, for example, it's like a good example, the gloves thing.
Right.
You know, people don't realize that when you wear gloves, it's actually a lot less sanitary than not wearing gloves. The reason you wear gloves is because people are bad about washing their hands. But people that don't wear gloves, if you wash your hands, like, I mean, at least for me, for example, when I'm in the kitchen, if I don't wear gloves, I'm washing my hands like every few seconds because I'm like, oh, I touched meat, wash my hands. Oh, I accidentally wash my hands. When someone's wearing gloves, they change those gloves maybe once every half an hour, maybe. Like sometimes they last a little longer than that. So those gloves, they're touching a lot of things. They're touching, you know, bread, meat, whatever the crap. You know, if you're on the fryer, tacos, whatever you're making, you're touching all these different things. And you're not changing your gloves. Whereas if you have bare hands, you wash them a lot. I think Gordon Ramsay himself, or like some other chefs, have said like, yeah, I don't actually wear gloves when I cook. It's a waste of time. And like, it's completely meaningless. It's like it's an arbitrary thing that like if someone were to walk into a restaurant and see people wearing gloves, like, oh, they're being safe. They're wearing gloves.
Right.
And if they're doing with their bare hand, they're like, ew, they're touching with their bare hand. They probably like scratched their groin before this.
Right.
Now they're touching my food. Gross. It's that illusion of it, but realistically, not wearing gloves is actually more, at least as far as you're making food. The only thing is, now that the whole COVID thing started, if someone does have COVID and they don't wear gloves, that's catastrophic. So now we all wear gloves, because of that reason.
It's crazy the things that like we have to do to make like I would just make things like more dangerous to make people feel safer, when really just absolutely nothing. Reminds me of like the TSA. Like they've never caught a single fucking terrorist, and they just make travel way worse for everybody. And we just use it because like so many fucking people don't know the difference between safety and like theater.
Yeah, has the TSA ever actually stopped a single terrorist attack?
No, never once.
Yeah, I figured.
They fail like FBI screenings all the fucking time.
Right. Well, from what I've heard, I don't know, this is unsourced, but I've heard that I think most terrorist attacks since 9/11 have been stopped in America, at least, have been stopped because of preemptive data. Like they find someone, like, oh, this guy might be a terrorist, and they start researching them, and they're like, oh, this person is like, he's planning to blow up the airport, and let's go stop him. And they wait for him, he gets to the airport, and they take him.
Yeah.
And it's like, preemptive data is what has stopped more terrorist attacks than the TSA ever has. So
yeah, no, and also just a heightened awareness for the public probably just stopped way more than anything.
Oh yeah, imagine if you're in an airport and you see some guy with like a gun or something, you're like, oh, what the hell? Then again, who knows nowadays with all these open carry people.
Right. I mean, I I think prejudice is going to save the day if most people see a person like with a gun like in the airport. I don't know.
Right.
But let's see. What was I gonna say? Fucking changing gears a little bit. I always kind of wanted to ask you about like your status as like a mod in the DFF community, and what exactly kind of duties did that job actually entail?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
What kind of duties did that like position entail exactly? Like what was like a thing that you have to do exactly?
Well, it depends on the person, I guess. It depends on what kind of. I mean, like for example, when I was because I'm not a mod anymore, I was actually an admin, and I was I started off how I started. I used to be in the DP group, and I was pretty active in it. I was always commenting and posting shit.
Right.
And the guy that made the group, he was like this 15-year-old. He made the DFF group in response to like all the DP DFF drama, whatever, or when they first split. And he messaged me saying, "Hey, I don't want to name names, but he made someone else from the DP group who was very well known. I guess since he's a kind of a little celebrity, Shirt Guy. He made Shirt Guy an admin. He's like, yeah, he's like, he's Shirt Guy. Everyone knows him. He's cool. And he's like, and you're pretty active in the DP group. People tend to like you. Do you want to come be a mod here? And I told him, like, honestly, I appreciate it, but I'd rather just be a member. I wouldn't want to be a mod or an admin of any kind. I just want to be like a normal member. Just go talk to people like a normal person. I don't want the responsibility, Right. And he's like, all right, well, how about can you just help me out as a mod for like a little bit? And I was like, yeah, for sure. It's a new group. I'll help out, whatever. So he made me a mod. I was helping out with like, the basic duties of starting a group. Okay, set up the rules. Okay, what should we do about this? What should we do about that? Invite more people in. Should we do the screenings? All that crap. And then after we had officially set the group up, he was like, he made me an admin. And he's like, I'm just gonna make you an admin. I'm sorry. Like, there's no reason to have you as a mod when you've done like as much work as me. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right. So he made me an admin. I was like, I still didn't want that, but okay. And then like maybe 4 or 5 months in, I won't get into what happened to him, but something happened to this guy and he had to leave for a bit. So he left. I mean, he said that he'd be back, and basically he left for like a year and a half or so. And in that year and a half, I was just like, well,
peace.
I mean, in the meantime, while Daddy returns, I'll just keep making these posts. Daddy in the figurative sense.
Right.
This guy's 15 years old, not like that.
Okay.
I mean, like in the figurative sense of like the guy that made the group, like the owner.
Right.
Until he gets home, I guess I'll be the man of the house or the queen of the house.
Sure.
So I started kind of taking over, and I just like, I did my best to keep it active, and I got Scott Ball, someone else that was pretty well known.
Oh, right, yeah.
To be an admin as well. At some point, Scott Ball stopped posting as much. Shirt Guy had a lot of shit going on in real life, and I knew all about it. And it was a fun time, but after a while, I was like, you know what? I can't. For like a year and a half, I was basically the only admin.
Right.
And I was like, this is kind of like.
And there was a time where like you were just making random people moderators for like months on end. Like you're just making like a random lottery. I noticed.
Oh yeah, I remember that the mod for a month thing, which we ended up doing for. I was like, after a while, I was like, having to choose new mods every month is actually pretty taxing.
Really,
there's a lot of good people in the group that are pretty decent at like they'd be good for mods and stuff, but having to choose 3 different ones every month, at some point you realize how like that runs out pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd be choosing like, oh, that person, no, I cannot make that person a mod. That would be chaos. Oh, well, not make that person a mod. That would be chaos. This is like a lot more people in the group like that than people that I'm like, oh, this guy would be a great mod.
I'm curious. What was like a big disqualifier for like making somebody not a mod?
Sometimes, it's a good question that you asked me that, because I was like, that's something that like I've never answered before. But there are some things about adminning and modding that you kind of have to, like, as much as anyone tries to be that. Okay, real quick. When I first started off, I had the approach of like, I'm gonna be unbiased here. I'm gonna be just whatever. Like, I'm just adminning the group. I'm basically like a watchful eye, but I'm not gonna be like involved in anything. My personal biases out the window. I'm just gonna do free speech, blah blah blah. All these like I'm gonna be an outsider, basically just watching over everything.
Right.
At some point, you realize it doesn't work, and you start thinking, okay, because I don't want to be like every other group, where like there are some groups where, especially leftist groups, I'm in a lot of them, where you join and like if you accidentally even say the wrong thing, you get banned or you get chastised so you leave.
Right.
I don't want to be that group. I don't want to be like, oh, if you come in and accidentally say like the R word for dumb people or whatever, like if you call someone, instead of calling them dumb, you call them the R word.
Right.
That's like an automatic disqualifier, because that's and I mean, and then now we understand why that's rightfully so. But back then it was like, well, who cares? But in some groups it was like that. You use that word and they'd be like, oh, that's disgusting, it's a slur, goodbye. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. That's sensitive. Maybe if someone says some stupid stuff, we roast them, we talk crap to them, whatever. But at some point, after some time passes, you start realizing you really can't do that, and there are a lot of biases that are going to be inherent. So for me, for example, as much as I hate to say it,
right,
one of the biggest qualifiers was if you were right wing. And I mean, we don't have that many right wingers in the group, but I was like, I don't want some conservative right winger being a mod in power in a left. I mean, it was never an official leftist group until like more recently. Now it is, but before it was like it was a fan club for a podcast that happened to be a little more left leaning. But I mean, it wasn't a leftist group. But for me, if I saw a right winger in the group, I was like, you're an outsider, kind of like you're there, for discourse. I'm not gonna kick you out for being a right winger, but also I'm not gonna do any semblance of power. Those also being a little overly edgy, because like at some point I stopped being all about people can say whatever they want, sort of being more like, okay, I don't like people going in there thinking they can scream. I mean, luckily, Facebook kind of does it for us now, but
so then you don't like just people that are edgy for edgy's sake.
Right, or people. I'm gonna scream the N-word without understanding why that's wrong. I'm gonna, I'm gonna call trans people by their by their not preferred pronouns. I'm gonna use a T slur. Things like that, like things like that are more brazen. I was like, if you're like that, you're definitely not gonna be a mod. But those are more things that you kind of like have to think about on your own. Like it's like there's no rule book for this, right? It's not like, oh, this is my screening for mods. You can't be a right winger. You can't be a bigot. This is in my head when I'm deciding on these things. It's not like I have an official layout for this. But it's more so like, oh, this guy, I don't know. I've seen him throw around the N-word a few times. I'm not gonna make him a mod.
Fair enough.
That's why I was like, so little things like that, and it just applies across the group. At some point, you start becoming more like, you go from this like, oh, I'm gonna let everyone do whatever they want. Then you start seeing it kind of go into chaos, and you're like, okay, this isn't working. And after a few years, start making, and like, I remember the first few times I would make certain decisions, people would get so angry, or like not everyone, but like there'd be some fringe group that would get really angry, and then I'd be like, if I don't do this, this person gets mad, but if I do this, this person gets mad. And for a long time it's super and it was a very stressful thing. You wouldn't realize how stressful this shit is. But a lot of times I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to make this choice because I think it's more beneficial myself, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go with that choice. And then person A would get mad and person B would be happy about it or whatever, and then person A gets their friends and they get mad, and then there was one member in the group that was always trying to like push my buttons with every little decision I made. He would be like against it, and I guess it was two people like that actually, and they were just like really obnoxious. So at some point, maybe like a year into me being like the quote unquote head admin, I kind of stopped like taking it. I was like, there's only so much you can kind of take. I started being more like, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be more chill, like lenient, not with like, I'm just gonna be more like lenient about what I do. I'm still gonna try to hold myself responsible for like whatever bad decisions I make as an admin, but I'm also not gonna be over analytical. Oh, but if this person gets mad at me, at some point I was like, you know what, I don't care, fuck you. Like, I put a ton of work into this group. If I think if you're harassing me in my DMs and I'm like, I can't ban you because you haven't broken any rules. Like that happened to me once, by the way. There was this one member who spent 2 days in a row calling me like a piece of shit, the worst person to ever live. I hope you fucking die. For 2 days, I was ignoring him, and I was like, after a day, I started being mean back to him.
And you didn't want to make.
It was like,
and you didn't want to
like, I'd be at work and I'd just get a message, ding, oh, same person. I hope you fucking die. You're a piece of shit. I hope you fucking die. And I'm just like, all right, because I banned someone that they liked or something.
Oh, okay.
And I just respond like, all right, well, sorry to hear that. No, you're not sorry to hear that. Fuck you. You're a bad person. Right. So for a whole day, and then the next day after that, I just kept going. So I started cursing at him back, being all whatever. And then I told my mod team about it, and they all said, why don't you just ban him? And I'm like, or they like just block him, and I'm like, I can't block him. He's in the group. He hasn't broken any rules. I'm like, okay, but you could just ban him. And I'm like, he hasn't broken any rules though. I feel
you fucking tyrant.
Like, right, but after that situation will cause me to kind of do a switch around. I was like, why the hell is that? Why? Like, why do I care so much? Just ban him. Like, yeah, like it's not a big of a deal. Like, you want to come harass the head admin? Goodbye, you're banned. Like, other groups are so much more strict. We're already very, very lenient.
Yeah.
So the fact that like being overly lenient here, like for the sake of just being lenient or letting them do whatever they want, it can be really fucking stressful on a person. So it's like, what? Like, no, at some point you're like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna do what I want.
If you want to make, sorry, go ahead.
No, so if you like it. If you don't, you can leave.
Right. I mean, if you really wanted to, just make it a rule. Just like add a rule. Don't harass the admins or the mods, and then it's fair.
I ended up doing that. Yeah,
absolutely.
I said harassing admins or mods will earn you a ban. Simple.
Like, I mean, like it should be common sense, but yeah. Like.
Right. Well, unfortunately, in this group, you got a lot of people that are like, oh, you don't want us to harass the admins or the mods? Do you guys think you're above everyone else? Like, I can harass someone else, but not you guys.
That's kind of what I like the group, though. Everyone's kind of a shit heel.
Well, sure, but I think it's the whole deal with, like, this specific group is very, like, they think any sort of, like, restriction at all or holding them accountable for anything I say is like you're attacking my freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know, like you're against my freedom of speech to tell you that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can call me whatever you want, but like in other groups, like you know, if you go join any Facebook group, find the admin, tag them and call them a fucking asshole, and just randomly, and see if you don't get banned. Like, people like other groups are very, very lenient. I mean, very, very not lenient. I'm sorry, they're very, very strict. We're already fairly lenient about our bans and timing someone out and blah blah blah. It took us like months to ban someone that really deserved to get banned. Like, it's very, I don't know. I feel like we're too lenient, if anything. So the fact that people complain when we're already far too lenient really does upset me. And I mean, a lot of things I don't have to worry about anymore because I'm not, not an admin anymore.
Right. Would you say that your position as an admin made you more sympathetic to like companies like Twitter and Facebook censoring their users?
No, I would say that came about. I mean, like I've heard like good arguments for it on both sides. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I mean, I don't like the idea of, for example, like what most leftists will tell you, like big oligarchs controlling what you're allowed to say on the internet. Especially like on a platform like Twitter or Facebook, which is kind of the public square. But at the same time, I also realize that, like, I've heard the other argument where it's like, yeah, but if you allow, like, a bunch of alt-righters and neo-Nazis and all the TERFs and whatever else run around preaching towards everyone, you invite them into the public space, and then a person who's, like, for example, a minority or a transgender person around TERFs, they feel more intimidated, or if they feel like, oh, I don't fit in this space, I need to go somewhere else, and you shut down their speech. But I mean, so I've heard both arguments for both, and I understand the logic behind both of them. So for me, it's more of a case of it's one of those cases of like, there's no specific layout for this, and it can be dangerous. But for me, it's more case by case basis. Oh, a neo-Nazi got banned, cool. Oh, this left-winger got banned, oh, that sucks. And of course, like, there's no other pragmatic way to do it. I mean, it's like if they just have a flat-out ban on, or give Twitter all the power to ban whoever they want, like that could end up backfiring on us. Of course, there's no way around it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always like a dangerous line to like walk, but like. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I was in your position, I'd feel like that people would be more. How do I put this? People would be more. I feel like you would be more sympathetic to like a company like Twitter, like just like banning people that you don't like at some point. Like, does that power ever? Did you ever felt like the power kind of corrupted you in any way?
No, absolutely not. I actually think it made me. I don't want to say it made me stronger, but it made me more. I don't think it ever corrupted me, but it made me more. It made me less tolerant to bullshit. I think I ended up being a better admin towards the end than I was in the beginning, because of this. Because it wasn't so much like the power corrupted me, came over me. Because like I've never liked having power. I even said like now that I've stepped down the group, I feel a lot better. There are a few times where I get that ghost sense where it's like this person's being a complete idiot. He's just out there like saying hateful slurs towards people and this and that. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ban them. And I'm like, oh wait, I can't. Like, I can't do that anymore.
Just resisting that urge.
For the most part, I don't like being a person in power. I like just being a normal member talking to people.
Right.
But I do think that it did help me in a lot of ways, and it did. I mean, it helped me like learn. I would say you're right about the whole like it made me a little more sympathetic towards Twitter, but not necessarily just them, just in general, people that are like in charge of a group. I mean, like Twitter and Facebook, they control an entire platform. Me as kind of a little Facebook group, that's not
right.
Like, you're not entitled to be on that group. You don't have to. Like, I could, if you wanted to, we could say you specifically are not allowed in this group. In fact, we do it all the time. Like, oh, I don't want my real life friends finding this group. So if one of my real life friends tries to join, you ban them, right? Whereas you can't do that with Facebook. You can't say, all right, everyone's allowed to use Facebook except for this one guy in California I don't like.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun though, if you could just like pick on one random person. But I get it
for no specific reason.
Yeah,
it's like they didn't do anything. I just don't like their face. Yeah, they're not allowed on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, none of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
like what else? What was I gonna say? Fuck. Sorry. Finish your thought.
Oh, I was done.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah. What else is there? What else is I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a good topic. Do you how do I put it? Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Okay.
Do you sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm getting a phone call.
Okay.
Let me just hang up on that. Okay. So I don't know. What do you do for fun?
I am not a fun person. I do nothing for fun.
Oh. So what do you do when you're miserable?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I'm serious. Like, I don't smoke weed. I don't do drugs. I smoke nicotine. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I do vape. I know the whole vapes are just as bad as cigarettes, and vapes are so uncool.
Right.
I get it. I used to smoke cigarettes for like 3 years.
Right.
I feel better doing this. Just leave me alone.
Noted.
I don't, but I don't smoke weed. I don't like, I mean, I used to smoke weed. I also used to drink a lot. Now I haven't drank in like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, that's really good. It's better than me.
Yeah. I used to drink a lot. So it's kind of a problem.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't, someone's like, oh, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do anything. Like, what do you do for fun? I mean, I don't know. I'd say I started getting into playing video games. I mean, I grew up on video games, but then for a long time I didn't play them. Now recently I've been playing them a lot more. I don't actually watch many shows either. Like I said, I'm not a very interesting person. I'd say, I'd be like, oh, have you watched any movies or shows? No, I haven't. Like, have you watched Star Wars? No. Have you watched this? No. Have you watched Harry Potter? No. Like, I mean, I've watched like the first 2 Harry Potter movies, I think, or 3 as a kid.
So a day in your life is you just like come home and you just stare at a wall and then you go back to work.
Basically, yes. I've heard that being one of my coworkers said that. Is that what you do? You just go home and stare at a wall? I don't know. I mean, I mostly spend time on YouTube, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I do a lot of things in like my real life. Like, oh, I need to clean my room, or I need to like go out to do like my duties, whatever.
Right.
Wash my car. Like, especially when I used to work full time. When I used to work full time, I'd be too tired to do anything. So basically, it was like, I'd go to work, I'd come home, I'd sit on my computer all day, I'd talk to people that I like, whatever, message people that I like, and then sometimes play a game with them or watch them play games. Because like the guy I like, for example, he plays games and I watch him play on stream. Pretty cute. I cheer him on. I'm a little cheerleader.
Noted. Yeah. You mentioned that you were on a different stream before you came here. How'd that go, by the way?
Wait, the what?
You said you were on like a different stream before you came on here. How'd that go?
Oh no, yeah, no, that wasn't the guy I like. No, that's just one of my friends.
Oh, that's a different person. Oh, okay. You don't like your friends?
Yeah, no, this guy. Huh?
You don't like your friends?
I mean, I like them. I just mean like, like in the sense of I want to have sex. You know what I mean.
Right. I know what you mean. I'm just fucking with you.
I love my friends, but I love this guy. So it's like, when I watch him play, it's just more of like a me and him doing it together. It's cute. Sometimes he'll let me make decisions for him, and I'm like, oh, I feel so cute. I feel so feminine. Like he'll be like, oh, I need you to, like, or I need to choose an upgrade for my sword. Which should I choose? This one or this one? You get to choose. And I'm like, oh no. And if I choose the wrong one, it's just like, oh well, I'll make it work.
Oh, that's sweet. You said you were going to school. What were you going to school for?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah. I still don't fully understand, but I know it's we have a really good program for it at one of my universities nearby, so I'm gonna do that. I'm sticking to it.
That's cool. What about cybersecurity drew you to it?
I don't really know, honestly. It's like it's one of those things where it's like I was gonna go into computer science first, and then I realized that I didn't really like it, and then I was like, well, we have a really good cybersecurity program at our school, and it's fairly similar in the sense of like the program is really good. The work itself, I don't really understand just yet. I haven't gotten to that level of schooling yet. I'm 24, so or 25 now. Damn, my birthday was a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
I'm still not
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
A lot of birthdays being celebrated today.
Right. Well, I mean, either way, I'm 25 and I haven't finished school, so I'm at that stage. But I haven't gone very. I mean, I've gone maybe like 2 years worth in. I should be working on my actual. Like my general ed is basically done. I'm just starting off my actual classwork. Yeah. I haven't gone to those classes yet. So once I get to those classes, I'll figure out exactly what the work entails.
Right.
But as far as I know, it just seems interesting. I mean, in my head, I imagine cybersecurity to be this thing where like, oh, you're fighting off hackers, you're fighting off, Russian.
I'm in.
Puppets. Yeah, right. Like.
But it's probably just like some coding, and then you get paid a contract, and then you go home, you go to the next contract. Probably nothing ever exciting.
Like that. Right. There's a lot of business classes for some reason involved. So, so I mean that's my view of it. I mean it wasn't my ideal career, but I mean it's the one that's most realistic for me. My ideal one would have been a lawyer. I always like to get into law. It seems like a really interesting thing.
It's just because you wanted to argue with people.
8 years of school. Right, 8 more years of school, and then to get your your master's in it, or to get your law degree and shit. I don't know. It's such a hassle. But I mean, I generally love law. I mean, like I'm one of those creeps that when I get jury duty, I'm actually pretty excited for it.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I got one in the mail. I mean, I hate waking up before 10:30 in the morning.
Right. Of course.
And these jury duty things are like 8 in the morning, so I have to wake up at 7 and be there. Like it's like a city over to like drive all the way down to my county's court. It's annoying. But I enjoy being there when I haven't actually gotten actual jury service. Like I've gone to jury duty like 3 times, and all 3 times they just let me go home. Like, oh no, you're good. Like, all right, well, waste my time coming here then. But like one time I was actually sitting down waiting for them to like let me in. They were going over the videos of like, while you're in jury duty, this is what you'll be doing, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh, that seems pretty cool. You know, like that seems pretty like interesting to me. Like I want to sit on a case. You know, I realize it's not going to be some like this guy was a serial killer. You know, he murdered and butchered. Like no, plus I don't like seeing the, you know, like the evidence pics. It'll probably just be some guy that did drugs or something, and I'll probably vote innocent because I don't believe in that. But
you know, you could volunteer for jury service. You don't have to wait for them to send you a letter.
Oh really? I did not know that actually.
Yeah, no, you can just call, like, if you really want to, you can just call and be like, hey, I'm really interested in sitting in on a case or something, and they'll let you do it. Or hell, even if you really wanted to, you don't necessarily have to be on the jury. You could also just, like, if there's, like, a prominent case going on or just, like, something somewhat interesting, you could just show up in, like, the crowd and just, as long as you respect the rules, if you ever just want to do that. Yeah, absolutely. You could be, like, there's no, like, you can just sit down on any case you want. It really doesn't matter. It's all public.
No, I'm sorry. I got cut out for, like, a second there.
I was pretty much wrapping up anyway. But yeah, it's all public. So if you ever want to do that, you know.
Well, I mean, I would love to like work at a court, you know, like it'd be fun. Even if it's like the court transcriber would be a great job for me. The reason I went into computer science in the first place,
right,
is because I've been on the internet. I've been one of those people that grew up on the internet. I was on the internet since I was 10 years old, basically. I've always been on the internet. So for me, that also entails a lot of typing, a lot of being on the computer, my computer doesn't work. I wonder why. You know, we don't have money to go take it to get fixed, so I got to figure it out. So I'd be like going through Google, figuring out how certain programs work and how codes work and blah blah blah. Since I was a kid, so I'm fairly knowledgeable with like some of this stuff at least. And one of the side benefits is that I type very 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 fast. I think I can type like 95 words a minute with no error or something. So it's like
that's really good.
Amount. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean a court transcriber, I believe the minimum requirement is like 40 words per hour, and I'm like, I could do that in my sleep.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
I mean,
40 words per minute. I'm sorry. 40
words per minute. Yeah. No. I'm a terrible fucking typist, and I've been on the internet for longer than you have, I think. And yeah, no, I don't know why, but that skill just never got to me. I honestly learned how to type as fast as I did just typing on my phone, and now I just type with both my fingers flying across the keyboard.
Oh, I hate typing on my phone though. I can't do that.
I mean, it's the fastest thing I type on. I type all my notes in class on my phone, and they get really mad at me.
Oh.
Like, yeah. And I'm like, this is like...
I can't do that, I don't know.
Yeah. No. What was I going to say? So, switching gears a little bit, what did you, like, think we were going to talk about when we first came in here? Did you have any idea?
No, I thought we were going to continue the femboy Hooters debate.
Or of course,
you were going to grill me... Or you were going to grill me about my the thugonomics debate.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually invited Mr. Merriam-Webster himself, and he's going to have some stern talkings to with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he gonna admit that he was wrong?
Well, the exact opposite. He's the authority on language, and he agrees with me.
No, he's not. John Cena is. So.
Well, second to him. But John Cena, you know, he couldn't make it. He's too busy being, you know, John Cena.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, it's like John Cena invented it. He's the inventor of the concept
of thugonomics.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't invent well, that's the thing, is that he before he came up with thugonomics, he sat down with Mr. Merriam-Webster to see the correct nomenclature, to see which term was the most proper, and he.
But I used the term in the exact same way that John Cena did. So if you use it the same way as the creator did, I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay, so here's the thing. When he was saying thugonomics, I don't know much about John Cena personally. Okay, I've only studied under him for about a year.
Already admitting your ignorance, babe.
Okay, but here's the thing. You used it in the context of it being in medicine, and in the context of it being medicine, it should be ology and not economics.
I think the important thing is that I used it in the context that John Cena would want me to use it.
I don't know. I mean, John Cena's not here with us, unfortunately, and Mr. Webster is only, you know, half of.
I mean, I'm kind of a John Cena expert, so I kind of.
Noted. I guess agree to disagree. Still roasting you about it, though. I don't care. You know, on that note.
Well, now, as long as you admit that you're wrong on it, it's completely
I didn't say I was wrong. What I'm saying is I'm not having this conversation any further because I don't want to start a fight. Now.
You mean you don't want gonna admit that you're wrong and I won. I win.
I still maintain that it's thugology. I still maintain that. But on that note,
You can continue to be wrong, yeah.
Right. On that note, what was the breaking point for you to stop being like an admin? Was there like any like big thing? Because I made the joke that was like I roasted you so hard on thugonomics that like you just had to run. But
well, that was it. I mean, you were correct. You guessed it right.
Okay.
I couldn't handle someone being so wrong about something and like, just existing in that group and not being able to ban you.
Okay,
so
sweet.
I can't. No, there was actually a real reason for it, but it's a very personal reason.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a very personal reason. It's a very it had nothing to do with like the group itself. The group itself was fine.
Okay. What else was I gonna say? So I don't know. It's the first time I've ever really done an interview. So, I mean, I guess that's what this is. At least that's what it turned into. But, what's, like, the most contentious, like, opinion that you think you have against the majority of people in the group?
I mean, it's something that I've talked about many times. It's my view of sexuality. And I don't even necessarily think people disagree. I think it's more so just, at some point they end up coming around to it. But it's like one of those things where at first, when they first hear it, they're kind of just like, oh, I don't really... that sounds loony to me. It sounds like you're just, making things up here. But then once they start talking about it more and we start like getting really into it, they're just like, oh, it makes sense, I guess. Or like after I've had people that were like, get into like a heated argument with me about it, like when I first tell them about like my whole idea of this, and then like again they get really and it's almost always heterosexuals, like people that are bisexual or gay or whatever, tend to agree with this. Like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. But then when I tell like a straight person this, they're just like, no, that's fucking stupid. No, I don't agree with that at all.
What exactly?
Really, really, really mad.
I'm sorry.
I'll get there. Okay.
Sorry.
They get really, really heated into it, and then at some point they like maybe a week later they'll be talking to me like, you know what? I think you're kind of right. I get what you're saying. And they'll have a bunch of questions about it, and of course it's a very hard topic to discuss.
Right.
But my view of it is essentially that there's no such thing as like biological sexuality in the sense that like the way we see it. Like you're not born anything. I think everyone is born bisexual. I think everyone is bisexual. But you think there's no like concrete sex, even like male or female? Would you say you're like a gender? Would you say I think that there is no difference between being attracted to a man or a woman than there is being attracted to people that have lighter skin or that have red hair instead of black hair or blonde hair or whatever. Like, I think it's a preference rather than a solid. Like, this is what your solid sexuality is. Like, you're just straight, you're just gay, you're just bi. This is what you are. That's it.
So I think I agree with that. It's just, you're saying like sexuality is just like a sliding scale. Like everybody's a little bit like bisexual. Is I think what you're trying to say, right?
Can you rephrase that a bit?
I mean, like, I think what you're trying to say is that nobody is like 100% straight or 100% gay.
Right. Well, I would. I mean, even then, I wouldn't know. I couldn't give you an exact number of what I would believe. Essentially, I would believe it's far more nurture than nature, and just for that specifically. And I think that I couldn't give you an exact number. I'm not a scientist. I've only looked at certain studies and certain things in the sense of like, because there's no study done on this, right? I mean, the only studies we've gone about this are like whether that's a gay gene, and there isn't. I think the most they found, people always try to like, oh well, look, they found like this article says that they found some similarity in some gay people, and I'm just like, okay, I'll read through the study, and it's like, oh, they found a common gene in a lot of gay people, but not all of them. And what it was is people that are more feminine. It's like people that have this gene in them are more likely to be feminine, but gays aren't always feminine.
Right.
Or for example, a very controversial point, a comparison that gets brought up, but like, I don't like using this one for it's very problematic, but it's also just like, if you're looking at this from a more objective point of view, you have to be, like look at it's like science is all sort of fucked up ways to get data, but in this sense, this is a really horrible, gross one, but it does, it applies to prisons,
right?
Because I mean, people talk about because prison is rape, prisoners got raped in prison, that's horrible,
right?
But for example, the person, like the rapist, for example, oftentimes is a person that's like, they came in, they're normally not gay coming in, right? They're like, oh, and the excuse I've heard is like, well, they haven't seen a woman in so long, they just have to rape people. It's fucking bullshit. But it's like, regardless of whatever the reason is, if you're a man who's having sex with another man, you can say it's because you haven't seen a woman, which means you prefer women, but you happen to have none, so you're doing this horrible thing. But it's still having intercourse with another man. If you're getting hard and having sex with a man, then there's no biological thing making your dick not act upright, right?
Right.
And like I said, so it's like, it's more of a case of like, it's, I think that like it's just more, well, I don't have, society tells you that like you have to be heterosexual. Some people will break out of that for whatever reason, and people will go the opposite way for whatever reason. Like everyone goes their own way, but I think that the natural course of things is just bisexuality.
Okay, what do you say to people that say that like, prison rape isn't an act of like sex; it's an act of violence? Is that an unfair?
No, it is. I mean, rape in general is usually like it's a way to hold power over people. Like
right.
When a man rapes a woman, it's usually them trying to exert their power over her.
But but you think it's both sexual and violent? Like
well, I mean, the point I make there. I mean, obviously it's not sex. It's rape for one. But I mean, I guess kind of similar. But it's more the fact if you're looking at the fact that someone can get hard and fuck another man. Mm-hmm. Before that, they were like, no, I'm straight. I'm completely straight. But my reasoning is that I haven't seen a woman in so long that now it's just that man looks enough like a woman to me. It's like, okay, well then you're still getting hard over someone that's a man. Like you're still. Even if it's over for power, for violence, or if you're someone that's straight, you don't get hard over men at all. You wouldn't get hard over men for any reason, even if you haven't seen a woman in years. Like
right.
So it's like I think it's just more. Like I mean, you also look at for example like the Roman and Greek times, which is less problem. I mean, it's still pretty problematic because they also had they had like pedophilia, for example.
Right.
But a lot of them were also bisexual. A lot of men there at that time, it was like normal to be bisexual. It was more normal. It wasn't like it was like they were having bisexual orgies and polygamy and all of this stuff. And it wasn't until 2,000 years or several thousand years of Christianity and just, in general the Judeo-Christian religions taking over the world, spreading out their which I grind down to like they probably spread these ideas because it's like if you're a church, you want people to come to your church and you want them to be dedicated fans. So when you write this Bible or whatever, the Quran or the Torah, you're writing things like, each one of them says that you have to go to your church. You have to go, you have to give money to your church, you have to reproduce as much as possible. Which, how are we going to reproduce? And how are you going to have a family with people are being polygamous or being gay and stuff, right?
Right, so be fruitful and multiply.
If you're a man, right. So you have to control the women. The women, you have to be submissive. You can't fight back. You can't do any of that crap. And it's like, and men have to be like, whatever. Like you have to be tough, and you can't be whatever. And you have to like take your woman and get her pregnant, have a bunch of kids, and then you bring them to our church. And now our church is expanded. So it's all a way of controlling people, especially women. And it's like, they use these religions to do that stuff. And that's why it started spreading throughout the world. And that's why homosexuality was seen as a bad thing. Women were held down for thousands of years. So religion has a really powerful influence on the way we've developed our societies. And even now to this day, people are becoming, like the younger the people are, the higher the numbers of people that are LGBT in their community grow. Like, for example, I think in Europe or the UK or something, I think now over half of the youth identify as some form of LGBT. So it's like, that didn't just happen, It's not just like, oh, we're accepting you. It's more a sense of like, you know what, let me explore my options. Let me see what,
I mean, that is an unusually high number, though. 50%. I mean, that's almost a majority. I mean, do you think how much do you think of that is just like trending? Like, do you think there's just an unhealthy?
None. I think that's the point. I think that like even if it's trending, I mean, like again, like my view of it to begin with is that 100% of them are like 100% of them are bisexual.
There's just 50% of people are honest about it.
Right. So more people are being honest about it. More people are just exploring their options even. And like that doesn't mean that like everyone's gonna end up being openly like no. I mean, and not only that, it also doesn't mean that everyone is like secretly bisexual but hiding it against themselves, right? I'm saying like for example, I'm gay. I call myself gay. I don't call myself bisexual.
Right.
I call myself like, oh, well, if you're saying you're gay, then why are you like, how can you believe this? And it's like, no. The point isn't that like you can just snap your fingers and like, oh, tomorrow I'm straight. No. It's more of like you weren't born this way. You were with society over years, like your specific upbringing, the shows that you watched, the movies or whatever, the friends you hung out with, the way you were raised, all these little things, or even just like little things like, you started being more rebellious to what people, that's why oftentimes gay people tend to be very rebellious to like what society expects of them, which I think is a great thing because fuck society. But it's like we're more rebellious, whereas like straights are more like, oh, I'm gonna, fall in line, I'm gonna get married with a person, I'm gonna have a bunch of kids, I'm gonna have a house, whatever, like that normal lifestyle. Whereas the gays don't often live that way. And I mean, for me as I would love to live that normal lifestyle too, but as a gay person,
right?
But I mean, not everyone's like that, and most people aren't. So
yeah, because like a lot of like those monogamous, like I mean, like non-monogamous. What's the opposite of monogamous? those non-monogamous relationships between gays that were often like propagandized in like Christian things
Yeah, exactly.
were only just a result of society not like catering to those people and forcing them to like almost live in the shadows.
And which is funny because I mean, like Mormons have been polygamous for a while, or like whatever, you know, they never cared.
But they don't really get as much shit as they used to. At least they used to get tons of shit, but like not anymore. Because
they don't get nearly as much shit as like gay people that want to be polygamous. Right. That's seen as degenerate filth, and like the Mormons are seen as just the religion's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe we should start making gay people a religion. Then
I'm very monogamous myself. I'm very like my ideal relationship would be like with a guy. I would date a guy. We'd go out. We'd get married. We'd have like a monogamous relationship with kids and stuff. Like a very basic, normal, vanilla lifestyle.
Right.
But yeah, it's not the norm in the gay community. Like a lot of gays, I think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm very supportive of like polygamy and stuff. I think they're mostly polygamous and have a bunch of people in their like their what is it, polycubal? I think that's what's called, like their relationships where they have a bunch of people.
Polyamorous.
That's totally cool. I totally support it.
Right.
I think that we should be moving away from these stupid traditional standards in general.
Right.
But this is from the way I was raised and the way the things that I'd like out of life. I like this idea of like a monogamous relationship. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to. I don't know. I think this is my view. I'm sorry. I think this is my view of how the reasoning behind a lot of gay people being a little like they tend to be a certain way.
Yeah.
It's not because of biology. It's rather just like they already like, for example, in the DFF group. The DFF group was never made as an LGBT group, right? It was never made as like a gay group. It was just a podcast for a fan club. But the person that they were following, TJ Kirk, he's kind of like an edgy outsider, atheist. Like, he's already outside of the social expectations of what is supposed to be normal. So it happened to attract a lot of people that were just like,
that can relate to that feeling of being on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people in the group are bisexual, and it's like it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't like it's not appealing to them specifically. It's just people that are more open-minded about this stuff and don't really follow society standards tend to be more that way. I met a lot of people in the group that's like when they came in, they were like, "Oh no, I'm straight," and now they're just like, "Oh no." After a few years, hearing you talk about this stuff and whatever, like I've kind of explored my options, and I realized that I am bisexual. So it's like kind of adds to that. So it's like like just all these little things, like like the horrible prison stuff, the horrible Roman and Greek stuff, but it's still applicable. The UK youth stuff. There's all sorts of stuff I've looked at. The fact that there's been no scientific evidence for like any sort of actual gay gene. Just there's some genes that some people share, not all, and they didn't include women. It was just like some gay men, like women had nothing to do with it. So what about lesbianism? The fact that there are more bisexual women, because even though they get a lot of shit too, I'd say like their social roles, or like like a lesbian, or is more like the discrimination that they get is more like. Society's like, oh yeah, like you two are, you're together for me, basically. Like,
right.
Like, oh, these two.
Like even the Nazis had a soft spot for lesbians.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, they're so hot, they're for me. Yeah, I love lesbians. Yeah,
it's just totally. A phase,
Well, not only that, but even the ones that are like whatever, they're saying like, I like seeing two lesbians make out, right?
Yeah.
Like, two women making out is hot, whereas two guys making out is fucking disgusting. So I mean, either way, it's uncomfortable because if you're a lesbian, you don't want people to like sexualize the relationship. Like,
or only
with the person that I like, I don't want you to sexualize it. Like, it's mind your own fucking business. Like,
I start getting old and wrinkly, and suddenly I don't have rights anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, but it's a different type of discrimination. Is my point.
Right. Right. It's got soft discrimination. I guess I would say.
Yeah. Well, yes. Where it's like if you're out with your partner and some creepy guy staring at you guys while you make out or something, and it's like, okay, like can you fuck off? Like, can you not stare at us and like sexualize me and my girlfriend minding our business? Whereas if you're a guy and you make out with another guy in public, there's a good chance you're gonna get beat up. Like
or glared at.
Right, and if you notice, like these little things cause a lot more women. Because I remember, like even in high school, a lot of women were like, like it wasn't bad for like a girl, like a straight girl, right? Like a straight girl hanging out with her guy friends, whatever, and they have another straight girl there, and they're just like, oh hey, make out for us, yeah, and they would do it, like, oh yeah, come on, I'll make out with you, bitch, and they would make out, they would like grab tits and shit, and like, and it wasn't like they would enjoy it, whatever, and then I'm guessing those women explored that part of themselves, so they were just like, okay, I guess I am a little bi. Whereas like men are just like, oh, and I've even seen some stupid like conservative articles saying like, well, women are just more likely to be bisexual biologically.
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not true. It's just everyone is bisexual. It's just, they're more likely to be that way because society is less, aggressive. I'd say towards like two women making out versus two men making out.
Did you ever see that? Ever read about that social experiment where they like basically just had one like woman actor go up to like 200 women and like random women, mostly straight, of course, because it would just be random, and they just asked them like randomly if you wanted to go and like go out on a date and some shit, and they wanted to do the opposite, and like most of them were positive, and a lot of straight women who actually described themselves as straight ended up taking the number and were like contemplating like dating this person, but they couldn't do the reverse experiment with men because they were like, after like a few times, they were genuinely afraid for the actor's safety.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of there's a lot of people, like men out there who will just go into like a horrible rage at the insinuation that they may be gay. And I always thought that was funny.
Absolutely.
It's
so
like,
that's what I mean. Like, yeah, like obviously lesbians face a lot of discrimination, but I think, yeah, I guess it's a completely different type of it.
Right. But like how often do you like worry about your safety, just being what you are?
So I feel like, I've been able to express myself more the way I really am online, I'd say. So especially in the DFF group, which is something I love about the group, is like before that group started, I had nowhere to really express who I was.
Right. It's not like the gayest group I'm part of.
Huh?
It's not like the super gay group that we're all just like gay together, straight people.
Right. Well, not only that, but it's also a private group. I didn't know what private groups were before this.
Right.
So like before the DFF group, I didn't know that a private group meant like no outsiders could see it.
Right.
So like at that same time, I had just started going through some changes in my real life. Where I kind of I still have my real life friends, but I kind of stopped hanging out with them. I was like, you know what? I kind of just want to. I used to hang out with my friends like every day, almost every single day. Like, oh, let's go out. Let's go out and drink. Let's go out and party. And when I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking weed. I started caring more for myself and stuff. I started being more like, you know what, guys, I love you, but I don't really feel like going out. Me just staying for a bit. As time has passed, I'll hang out with them once every few months. But it's for the most part, I don't really go out anymore. Or if I go, I go out a lot by myself. Like I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna go whatever. Go do my shopping stuff. Whatever. I mostly stick to myself nowadays. But and I still love my friends. I still have a good amount of them, and I love them. I still see them every now and then. But
that's good. Do your friends have any problems with your sexuality?
No, they're all cool with it.
Oh, okay.
I actually came out to them fairly late. So when I was in the DFF group, I hadn't come out to anyone.
Right.
And I didn't start coming out until last year, actually.
Really?
So, last year, I would say late into the last year, because I had some guy that I liked that was going to come visit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I came out to my siblings. Well, I came out to my cousin first, and because me and her are really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
She was really cool about it. She's a total she's like me, we're total SJWs. I love it.
Yeah.
So she was really cool about it, and then her boyfriend, he was cool about it too. And I told my siblings, they were cool about it. That's told my mom, and she was not very cool about it. So
really,
and after that, she wasn't even specific. At first she was like, oh, I'm gonna love you no matter what, blah blah blah.
Right.
But then she was just but also I don't want you to tell anyone. I don't know how your dad's gonna react, so you can't,
Yeah, I think I mentioned you haven't told your father yet.
Yeah, so she's like, keep it to yourself, and she's like, and hopefully, I think she's like, hopefully this is actually not even true. Maybe it's just you just think you are because you got brainwashed, whatever. It was a very she had no idea that I was secretly the gay emperor of this DFL.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, no, you're seriously just the gay icon. We everyone makes jokes about you being the gay fascist that bans everybody for being straight.
Right, I'm gay Thanos. I'm gay fucking the dictator. Gay fascist. I never liked gay Hitler. That sounds a little too.
Okay, that's a little on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny at first, but I'm just okay, I can be a little.
Yeah.
I'm not Hitler. Fuck Hitler. Even an evil dictator like me is too nice for Hitler.
Sweet. Hitler didn't ban anybody from Twitter, at least.
Right.
So.
Jesus.
That is true. That is true.
That is true. He did not do that. I can say he did not do that. What's it called? But yeah. So because of that, obviously in the group, I'm able to be more myself.
Right.
And in real life, I'm actually not
Of course.
Because I consider myself very feminine.
Right.
As the way I act, the way I whatever. But when I'm in person, I feel like I have to put on this mask. So it's because I'm kind of tall. I'm a little I'm a little muscular.
Mm.
I wear mostly all black, and I have kind of medium black hair. So it's not like I have I have long hair and I wear a dress. No, it's just
right.
I dress very masculine-ish, and I prevent, even though I don't really care for that. I prefer to be a little more feminine.
Okay.
But I still, just for the sake of so if you met me in real life on the street, you wouldn't know that I was.
Right.
So because of that, I haven't faced very much discrimination for that reason.
Mm.
For me, it's been mostly trying to come out to some people that wouldn't be cool about it. I guess my dad. I haven't come out with him because I feel like he's not gonna be cool about it. So
right.
It's that's the extent to my issues. But I imagine once I'm able to express myself more freely and speak who I really want to be.
Yeah. Do you think? Do you think if you like had no social expectations of you, you would just be like immediately like what would you be like if nobody, if you had like, if you didn't have to worry about your father, you didn't have to worry about any social expectations? What would your like? How would you leave the house every day?
Oh, like how I mean, I've always liked the all black look, but maybe I'd draw out my hair a little more. Maybe well, for starters, I need to be happy with myself. I'm not entirely happy with the way I look and stuff yet, so I want maybe like, cause I mean, I'm not super overweight or anything, but I'm still a little overweight. I used to be massively, but I lost a bunch of weight, obviously, and I'm still like, I'm a lot better off than I was before, but I'm still very insecure about it. So I'd be like, maybe like, get a little thinner, maybe wear some nicer clothes, maybe buy some new shoes, get some laser surgery on my face because I'm tired of having to shave my facial hair. I hate facial hair.
Yeah, that's the same problem.
Things like that. Just, like, I don't know, maybe experiment with like a little bit, not like eyeliner and stuff, maybe like some makeup. Like I want like some face powder to like clear up my face a little bit. Like things like that, little things like that I would just completely go nuts with.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would like to dress up more femininely than I do, but I'm not like, I'm not like an effeminate person, but I feel like I would enjoy dressing more femininely, honestly.
Well, I mean, ideally, I wish we could just move past these like standards in general.
Right.
Like, I when I use the terms feminine or masculine, I do so in the sense of like the traditional sense. I don't believe anything is feminine or masculine. I think anyone can do anything. I think any woman can wear like pants, and that's not masculine. This is them. This is they can wear whatever they want. Pants aren't masculine. A dress isn't feminine. But in the traditional sense, like it's like, for example, when I talk about my ideal relationship, I always say I'd want to play the feminine role to my partner's masculine role.
Right.
But that's harmful language, but it's like I don't use that for that reason. But I mean it in the traditional.
It's just
sense.
convenient. It's just convenient.
Right. In the traditional sense of like what society expects a woman to be in a relationship and a man, and it's like that's what I want to be. I want to be the woman in that sense. But it's
I get you.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm not trying to be like, this is what women have to be. No, absolutely.
Right. No, I understand that, you want to have certain qualities in your partner and you want to like counter those. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with using like masculine and feminine as like describing terms.
Right. I'm just saying it's like people that want to like to get rid of, like abolish gender. I mean, I'm there with you.
Right.
But I also think it's like, I get their arguments for like, okay, you don't want to use this language, it's gonna be a little harmful. I get that too, but also like, it's easier to describe it that way than it is to do it any other way.
Right. Like if a cop is arresting somebody and they need to give a description, it's probably more convenient to say like feminine or masculine than it is to like go through every societal expectation.
Right. I mean, it was one of the arguments I think Blair White used against Ben Shapiro about why, like, if I was with you if I went to a restaurant, I was waiting for you, and you showed up, and you're like, oh, I'm with the lady in the orange. You wouldn't say I'm with the man in the orange because it'd be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like that's a woman. Like,
yeah, hard to believe that Blair White is the reasonable person. That it's kind of funny when Blair White is to be the reasonable person in the conversation.
I don't particularly care for her, but I don't like her. I think she's really toxic. But yeah, I do think that like in that debate, at least I was on her side.
Right, at least in that interaction, yeah. Fucking, you ever seen what she said about transgender people in prison? That she basically believes that like, if she were arrested, she should be thrown into the men's prison.
Oh my god, she's so stupid.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Do you understand what would happen to you? Do you understand, like what, so like the opportunity? Yeah, like what the fuck?
She's so clueless. She's so. I mean, she's conservative. Conservatives are clueless. Conservatives are silly. They're just like. I mean, they go off of fear. It's like, oh, I'm a, if you start letting trans women into the, men's or women's prisons, you're gonna start like, some guy, someone that presents as a male is completely a guy is going to start saying, I identify as a woman, just to go to the women's jail, because that's totally how it works, right?
Yeah, no, it's not how it works at all.
I have no idea how things work. It's just like, they go off this fear, this like...
When they're enforcing exactly what they're saying they're afraid of. They're enforcing people like Blair White, who look like fucking, like fucking porn stars, like, going into the fucking male prison, because, like, what the fuck?
Exactly. It's silly, it's stupid.
Yeah, like, it's pretty dumb, like, how they immediately, like, enforce exactly what they're opposed to. But, yeah. But I don't know, do you really think, like, she's an honest, like, actor in this? Do you really think she actually believes half the shit she says?
I do, and I think my favorite YouTuber, ContraPoints, she made a good point about this. She made a good point about how, she sees it as, like, it's not her grifting. She believes the shit she says. And it's, like, I think that you can tell when someone is grifting, like Dave Rubin, for example.
Right.
But she hasn't ever, like, really switched her position. She's gone a little more lenient, a little nicer about certain things. But she hasn't gone full, like, oh, my viewers are saying I should say this, so I'm going to say that. No, she'll say things that will piss them off too. So she'll say something that like her viewers get all riled up about, but she'll still say it, and she'll get a bunch of downvotes for it, but she won't care.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
She'll stay true to that belief, but she just does have harmful beliefs, and I think that like if you always just call everyone that has shitty beliefs a grifter, you kind of undermine those beliefs. Like,
right.
Okay, there are people that believe this stuff. You can't just brush them off as no. If they like, I knew someone that thought that Nazis didn't exist. For example, he said like, no, there's no way anyone could be a neo-Nazi. If someone's a neo-Nazi, they're just trolling. And I was like, no, there are people who are actually neo-Nazis. They believe this stuff.
Right.
No, I don't believe it. I think if someone says they're a neo-Nazi, they're just trolling you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're like, that's just horrible. Like, it's a horrible way to think. Like,
yeah.
You're minimizing those views. Like, they exist, and when you stop them, you can't just be like, oh, they don't exist.
Right. No, I get you. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of trust issues when it comes to like conservative fucking pundits because I always just immediately assume they're doing it just for the money. And I think you could do it for both. I think you could be honest and just have money roll in that enforces those beliefs. You know.
Yeah, I think the best way to go about it is to look at their
history.
Their like their history and like their like how often. Okay, this person believed this 2 years ago and they still do now. But Dave Rubin changes with the times depending on his audience. Like
now he's a Christian, and next week he's gonna be straight again.
Straight.
Like
he's gonna be straight one day. I can guarantee.
The amount of influence he's losing like rapidly. Like he can't get invited back on Joe Rogan's show anymore. He can't fucking he can't like even his fucking like Ben Shapiro won't like fucking come on his show anymore and talk to him. It's only a matter of time before he like makes the decision like, look, I can make a little bit more money and keep this like fame going for this much longer, because like he's really putting like his husband in like a horrible economic spot with his career. He really is, because like his husband's a fucking producer.
Right.
And he's like a very influential producer, so much so that like when he fucking when Dave Rubin was threatening to leave the Young Turks, according to Anna Kasparian, they spent way more energy trying to keep fucking his husband on staff than they did try to keep Dave Rubin on staff. And like now they're both like being he's basically like threatening to like go leave Hollywood to go to like a different like job position somewhere else. But that's a problem because like I think Dave Rubin's, I'm not even entirely sure if Dave Rubin's like the main breadwinner. Like,
wait,
honestly,
you don't know how much he's in control of the show, or?
I'm sorry, one more time.
You cut out at the end there. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, like I don't think, I'm not entirely sure if Dave Rubin is even the main breadwinner in his like relationship.
Oh no! I'm pretty sure his husband is. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what? How much control does did Dave Rubin really think he was gonna be like making so much more money that he could like carry them both at this point? Like, what was the plan? Does he even have an exit strategy? Like, I don't know.
I think at this point it's just too far in. It's just like, oh well, we gotta just,
he's just not talented enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he's just praying that things will turn around for him or something will happen, and like, it's kind of like Gamergate. Gamergate like really riled up the online alt-right.
Right.
Like, I mean, and there was obviously the contingent of people that would like, because I think Vosh has talked about how like this issue has so much nuance to it.
Yeah.
It gets lost.
In like some story of some chick who got fucked by 5 dudes or whatever the hell. It's like, whatever.
Well,
like,
it was something about like some girl, like some lady made a game and her boyfriend was a journalist, so she fucked him and to get a good review or something. And he gave her a good review, and then she left him or something like that. So he made a whole thing about it on the internet, like, oh yeah, I gave her a good review because of this, and that's how journalism works, and blah blah blah. And it became a whole thing. So it's like, were there some issues? Sure. Do I really give a shit about journalism in video games? No.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, like, there are problems in games journalism, and I do wish they would fix it, but, like, the focus was on, like, this fucking shitty game that no one would have ever heard of in any other context. Like, who cares?
Right. Well, something it went from, like, the whole, like, thing was like, oh, no, we care about journalism, but realistically, it ended up being like, oh, the SJWs are destroying our games, and
right. They're trying to keep us from getting boners.
Video games, and they want feminism to win. Like, it ended up being a whole like completely arbitrary argument for fucking years, and all it did was fire up the Sargon types, the alt-right on the internet. And it's like, but I mean, can you make a nuanced argument as to why like you thought that I do think that if someone just gets a good review because they fuck someone, that's pretty shitty. I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, someone paying a company to give their game a good rating, like it's pretty shitty too. Like a whole idea of rating system should be like objective, right? Like if someone just plays a game, they rate it. That's cool. Like no, what's the thing called? Like what's that thing called? Where like you have an investment in a company, so you can't. Forgot the term for it, but it's like the reason why you can't hire your family to work for you, for example. Like,
conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. There you go. So I mean, I totally get that. I totally agree with that. But the problem is like, it wasn't that big of a deal, and it became a whole like anti-SJW thing, and that's what it ended up becoming. That's the whole legacy.
Yeah.
So things like that can always start these things back up. So I mean, you never know when some other thing will happen that will get Dave Rubin popular again. You know, hopefully that never happens. But you know,
honestly, I mean, I like Dave Rubin as a cautionary tale. Every time like I think like, man, I could like make tons of money. Like if I really flaunted like my like Arab status as an American, and I could probably like get like on Dennis Prager's like payroll. But then I look at like Dave Rubin and I see the light die in his eyes. It's like, okay, like it's not worth it for that.
Oh no, yeah. Someone told me the same thing once. They're like, oh, well, you're like a, you know, you're a gay supremacist and you're fucking Hispanic and you're, you know, an SJW and blah blah blah. If you wanted to, you could totally become a grifter. It's like, you know, like go on Dave Rubin's show and be like, you know what, Dave, like I'm a gay SJW fucking whatever
liberal, yeah.
And I'm like, and you know, I used to be be really against you and stuff, but now that I'm looking more at it, the left has gone too far. And then, you know, slowly from there just start grifting and become a full right winger. Oh, you would make so much money.
Yeah.
You kind of someone basically, and I'm like, yeah.
There's no stability in that. Is the problem.
Well,
first of all,
I don't even care about that. I think some people need to stop thinking. It's like it's what capitalism does to people.
Right.
It creates that mindset of just like all the only point to life is to, you know, survive above others. So like, you know, if you fuck others on your way up, fuck it all, you know, like,
yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm gonna grift and ruin people's lives by spreading these horrible messages, but at least I'll be fine. It's like, that's not okay. We can't continue this mindset, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you mean.
But I'd like to put an end to that mindset rather than enforce it by being one of them. So that's why I could never be a grifter.
Right. No, I have too much pride. I have a man of character.
Well, I mean, even I'd rather just, you know, I'd rather die on a hill that I really believe in.
Right.
Even if like, oh, you know, if, you know, I made a channel and I'm talking about things that I really care about.
Right.
And it's like, I get 3 views. I prefer that over I made a channel spreading harmful views that I don't agree with at all, but I'm getting, you know, hundreds of $1,000s a month.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I would not. That's horrible.
What's good to know though is that like you'll find often there's a lot of like people that are like really bad at this, and they really like they're really bad at the online grift, and you'll find there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are just skating by on nothing because like they don't realize that they didn't really win the lottery that there kind of is entailed in being a right-wing grifter, because there is only that's a very coveted position, as it turns out, being a right-wing like.
Why are you calling out the quartering like this?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's an example of that, but I don't know. You ever seen like Candace Owens' like history before she like became a fucking a spokesperson for the right wing?
Yeah, didn't she try to like dox people or something?
No, I mean like she used to. You remember that fucking like. That fucking gaming service that like got really like infamous in the anti-SJW crowd, that fucking like if someone was kicking your ass in like Counter-Strike, you could like hire these like people to go and kill them for you for bullying you or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Well, there was this like really weird thing and it made no goddamn sense, and it was like all over the anti-SJW sphere. Like Chris Ray Gun made a video on it and a couple others made a video on it. Candace Owens was one of the architects of that. She's one of the architects of one of.
I mean, if it's a similar website, I think I know what you mean. I mean, it could be a service off the website that she used to have, where she She said that she would never dox anyone, but it was like she would post like it was a website where people could go call people out for doing like, oh, this person is like, you know, this person is using a slur against me. They go screenshot and they post it on the website, and people go after them and stuff. And then it ended up being used to dox people. And then like I think that when Blair White and someone said that fight on Dave Rubin's show was a horrible shit show.
Oh yeah, I love that.
3 really stupid people in one room. Yeah, 3 really stupid people in one room does not make it entertainment.
Yeah.
Yelling at each other over and over, which was probably the most intelligent thing they could say.
Yeah. Can we just talk about ideas, guys? Please, come on.
guys, stop. No, like, you're a bitch.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that all 3 of us with differing political positions can come together. Fuck you. It's like him just trying to play peacemaker in front of 2 people that are obviously not friends.
Right.
It's just the funniest fucking thing.
That was like the only good thing about that thing. That shit show was like it was hilarious watching 3 dumbasses go at it. But they what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think Blair White called her out for that. She was like, "Oh, you know, you used to dox conservative, this and that." No, I didn't. Like, yeah, you're a grifter.
Right. So, yeah. What do you think it would take for like somebody like Blair White to be able to escape like the right wing?
For her to stop being right wing.
Like that's just that simple. Because like honestly, at this point, like, I mean, I don't know if she's necessarily the kind of person that would even like seek out to change her ideas. And that's where I get lost on the conversation of whether these people are genuine or not. Because like, at what point does it become like you're not actually like critically examining your own beliefs?
Well, ContraPoints made the point that Blair White does what she does because it's a matter of like, it's like, okay, it's like, for example, let's say you're a transgender person, right? And like, you know, you realize the world is very hateful to trans people. Like, they're very, like, you know, it's very bigoted, very hateful. The average person is very hateful to trans people.
Right.
And it's like, and you go hang out with people that you think are really cool and you know them and they're your friends. And then one day they're just like, oh, you know, these fucking, you know, these other transgender people are so blah, blah, blah. I'll never call them by their pronouns. They're gross, this and that. And you look at you and they're just like, not you though. You're good. To me, you're a woman. You're cool. You're dope. You're one of the good ones. Like, no, to me, you're acceptable. You're great. At that point, it's easier for you to just be like, yeah, you know, you're right. Totally. Fuck those other ones. Yeah,
I am better than other girls.
Right. They don't blend in right. They're whatever. I am one of the good ones. Yeah. Like I you know, I totally get you. I feel you. Totally. Yeah. Fuck them. And then it's like, but that's harmful because like, that makes it easier for you personally, and you will be more accepted in those circles. But the people that aren't you from your group won't be. So it's not like you make life better for yourself at the expense of everyone else.
Right.
So it's like, so Blair White has that idea. Like, you know, she hangs out with those people that are like, I hate trans people, but you're great. I love you.
Like, she is definitely valuing herself over her, like, identity.
Exactly. Her own validation matters more to her than, you know.
Yeah, and that's where I think people get lost in the grifter thing, is that they just see, like, people getting, like, almost, like, selling themselves out. But they're not really selling themselves out. Their interests are that they want to, like, extend farther in society no matter what. Like...
Right. Well, they want them... I mean, like, they end up winning. I mean, everyone's beliefs, to some extent, some people have like beliefs that, you know, are good for others too, but to some extent, most people's beliefs are created by their own experiences. And like, oh, this is my experience of the world. This is what I want out of the world. This is what I'd like to change out of the world. So this is why I believe what I believe, you know? So it's like, in a way, yes, she could be grifting, but I would say grifting in the sense that like her beliefs are aimed to make the world better for her personally.
Right. Okay, so like, yeah, I guess on that, no, I guess she kind of is a grifter, but if it is her genuine beliefs, I don't know. It's a difficult conversation, honestly. Just because, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand. I don't want to throw on labels like grifter around because that just devalues them.
Yeah, because I would define a grifter as someone that they don't actually believe what they're saying,
and like provably,
but they're using these, but they're using these like they say these things that they don't actually believe. Even like, oh, you know, I don't actually believe any of this shit. I'm just making these points for money. Right. So like
their opinions change conveniently at the same time as money switches hands.
Right. Like, or they don't even have opinions on certain things. That's why, for example, Candace Owens or Dave Rubin, when Joe Rogan, I don't really care much for Joe Rogan, but when Joe Rogan pushed back on them even a little bit, they could not answer any of his questions. I remember when he was like, "Oh, you don't believe in climate change? What do you mean?" Oh, you know, I just don't believe in it. I just don't believe in it. I mean, you know, if I were to look at data, maybe I'd change my mind. But I mean, it's not something that I particularly care about. It's so politicized, and like, she had all this, and Joe Rogan kept pressing her on it. He's like, wait, what do you mean you don't believe it? It's like, you know, it's scientifically proven, like it's just true. He's like, no, it's just, you know, it's so politicized, this and that. I just don't believe it. It's like, I haven't looked into it much. I don't care to look into it. I just don't care.
It's your job to look into it. And you're using your platform.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, because she knew she had no arguments against it, because she doesn't actually know what she's talking about.
Right.
She just holds this belief because she has to. It's like, oh, PragerU's telling her, like, oh, you can't believe in climate change, right? All right, for sure. You know, we make a lot of money off of, you know, denying climate science.
Right.
So it's like the people that pay her.
She's working for fucking fracking billionaires.
Exactly.
Right.
She gets paid by those people, so she's like, the people that pay her would lose a lot of money. If, you know,
and she was hoping to get a softball out of Joe Rogan. But on that note, do you think Joe Rogan is like a net gain for like a better world? Do you think like Joe Rogan does more harm than good?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. For example, obviously, like, he's very good at creating people that are like, you know, I used to be a right-wing libertarian, and now I kind of understand some things about like Medicare for all and shit. You know? Like, he's that, and it's on some, like, for example, on marijuana or on gay people specifically, he's pretty good. But one of the things that he's very, 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 very harmful on is trans people. It's like one of the by far one of his most harmful traits. Like, he's very, very, not only is he ignorant on it, I would say he's downright hateful about it sometimes. Like, and yet he never, like, he's always like, oh, you know, I won't call someone by their pronoun. No, like, he's had like that. Like, why not? I'll call them by their pronouns. But also he spreads like really terrible rumors about like, oh, you know, they're trying to take kids and force them to be transgender and blah blah blah.
Right.
These little ideas. He has all these guests on that. Like, I think he had one on like a few days ago. I forgot her name. I don't know if I like left it open. I was gonna watch it. And I was like, I'm not gonna watch this dribble and exit it out.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh yeah, Abigail Freer. And one of the things is she's a Turk.
Wait, wasn't Abigail Freer? Wasn't she the one that like Vosh like roasted to the point where she didn't even want to go on and debate him?
Yes.
Oh my god, and, how the fuck did she get on that show?
Right. Well, the thing, because like he gets these people that are like super anti-transgender, Ben Shapiro and shit.
Right.
He's always having these debates with people like, if I ever for some reason decide to like catch this podcast, it'll almost always have some stupid thing about trans people. I think he had like Adam ruins everything, whatever. And to be fair, he didn't do himself any favors. Adam Conover,
right?
He didn't do himself any favors, but he did he was trying to defend trans people, and Joe Rogan was being very like anti-trans for them.
Aggressive.
To be fair, again, Adam's arguments weren't the best. I think if he had like counterpoints on, it would have been a lot better because he knew what he was talking about. But still, like the points that he was making were very anti-trans, so he's very, very bad about trans issues.
See, my thing is that I worry that Joe Rogan might be more like, whether he realizes it or not, I think he's irresponsible and he's kind of making like a pipeline to the right
no, he's absolutely irresponsible.
Yeah, and I think that like it just seems weird to me that every single time he gets like some liberal figure on his show, it's always like somebody, the conversation always seems to move directly towards like the failures of the left wing over the and like he'll get Kyle Kalinske on the show and the conversation will always shift like naturally to like, the Democrats are going to lose to Trump because this, that, and the other reason, or he'll get freaking another person who'll get on is fucking Lee Camp, I forget his name, and the conversation will and Lee Camp is literally like a fucking agent of fucking Russia because he works for Russia, like RT, and the conversation will always be about America's failures and all these issues. And like American liberals, and
I think the reason why the left likes him so much, like the ones that do anyway, is because like he's had people like, I think for example in our circle, like because he had TJ on, and he had Kyle Kalinske on, and he had Crystal Ball and Sagar on, but he's had he's had certain voices of like that on, so people like kind of get blinded to the fact that he does do a lot of damage, but it's like he's had our guys on. We like him. He's just a dude, bro. He doesn't know better. Blah blah blah. He can't. So it's like I think in a way a lot of people like convince themselves to tolerate him, because he has such a large platform where it's like, oh, this is the first video I've seen with Kyle Kalinske. They got like 3 million views. Like normally like Kyle Kalinski's videos get like I mostly get like 70K views or something.
Yeah.
And this video got like fucking 3-4 million views with his interview. And he went on again, and it also got like 3 or 4 million views. Like so. They kind of see it as like a way to get like these like leftist YouTubers that they like to go on his show and get like these huge fucking like numbers.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I think that's just like the way.
Have you heard anything about the controversy like right now with like Crystal Ball and Sagar with the Rising show?
Yeah, mostly because of Vosh, and I guess Nathan Robinson started with his article, but Vosh has been very. I mean, I actually went on Vosh's show to debate that with him.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, were you like a call-in or something?
Yep.
Could you clip that with me? I'd like to see that actually.
Yeah, of course. I'll send it to you.
All right. Cool.
I didn't post it in the group, but someone else did.
Oh, really? Shit. Huh.
I mean, well, cause I was in the DFF Discord, and like I was like, I think because people in that Discord watched it too, and like I think we were before because Bosch talked about Crystal Ball in them first, and I'm a big fan of Crystal Ball.
Really?
Not Sagar or Rising. I used to like Rising a lot, but because of Sagar specifically, I stopped liking Rising. We were having that conversation in the DFF group in the Discord. We're talking about like, oh, I don't think his Crystal Ball are fair. I think he's being too whatever, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And like we're having a discussion, and then like they had this. I was like, oh, he's streaming right now. He's gonna talk about it. Let's see. And some of us were watching it, and then like I was in the chat box saying like, no, you're wrong. That's not what happened. No, you're wrong. That's not what happened. Oh no, she's not actually like that. No, she whatever. And someone said like, wait, do you like her? Like, do you support Crystal Ball? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan. Like, oh, you should try to see if Voss will have you on the show. And I'm like, oh, I mean, sure. And like, and that guy was like spamming like in the chat, hey Voss, this guy wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to you. Whatever. And then Voss saw the chat. And he's like, wait, someone supports Crystal Ball? Oh yeah, I'll discuss it with you. Yeah, get on here. And I'm like, fuck. I did not expect it. I was not prepared. I was like, fuck. So I didn't say anything about it. Like I bought myself a microphone. I have this blue eyes thing that I'm using right now.
Okay.
Before I used to use my webcam mic, which sounded like I was underwater. So I was like unraveling it really quick to plug it in. I was like, fuck. And then Hyena, his girlfriend, just messaged me on Discord being like, who are you? What are your views? This and that. And like she was being really aggressive at first until I told her like I'm a big fan of Bosch too. I just happen to not agree with him here. She's like, oh okay, if you're a fan, that's cool. Good luck. Don't freak out. This and that. I'm just like super nervous. I'm shaking. I go to the DFF Discord, and the people that were watching it with me immediately recognize my username on his Bad Canary. I'm like, oh shit, good luck. Oh my god, good luck. Oh my god, good luck. And I'm just like, fuck. Like,
what was your?
Oh my god, so funny. I was like,
I'm sorry.
It was
go
super
ahead.
tense. And then, well, then he had me on. It was basically just me telling him, like, I don't have a problem with I've criticized Crystal Ball many times. One of my criticisms, I think, was like when Tulsi Gabbard dropped out. She tried to make a video saying Tulsi Gabbard totally owned the libs by endorsing Joe Biden. Like, she literally made that video. She was like, they were all saying that she was gonna, run third party or whatever. But now she dropped out and she endorsed Joe Biden. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, why are you like? This is during the primary, so Bernie was still in. I'm like, why are you? She should be grilling Tulsi Gabbard for not endorsing Bernie, not fucking covering up her endorsement of Joe Biden. But
right.
It was, so I've criticized her before, but his criticism was that she's like Nazi adjacent, she lets them off the hook, blah 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 blah, and that she might herself be secretly a Nazi or whatever. And I was like, look, this lady has ran for fucking office as a Democrat. She got slut shamed out of it. She got, because her totally vanilla pictures got exposed of her and her husband. Oh, she's sucking a dildo on his face. Oh, how horrible. Very vanilla shit, but apparently it's very kinky pictures that she had to get canceled for back in 2012 or 2012.
Yeah.
She worked on MSNBC for many years. She quit on her own. She what's it called? Let's see what else. She's a fucking open feminist, super pro LGBT. And one of the things Vosh said is that she's a class reductionist, that she doesn't ever argue with Sauger on social issues, because Sauger is like a right wing socially, and then left wing economically, or like center. Like, he's cool with left wing economics,
right?
Until he's a Nosball, I guess. He's like, oh, I believe in the traditional family, I believe in blah blah blah. I'm anti-LGBT, anti-feminism, this and that, but I'm okay with Medicare for all and raising wages, blah blah blah. A Nosball, and Crystal Ball and him always have fucking arguments about this stuff, though. So he's like, oh, she never pushes back on him. I'm like, have you not seen Rising recently? Like, they've been arguing nonstop about the BLM thing. Because Sauger's like, no, they should send the military to shoot all of them. And she's just like, no, that's some fascist bullshit. That's fucking stupid. And they'll get into a really heated argument over it. So it's like, what are you talking about? Like, they do, but Bosch was just like, no, she lets him off the hook. She's a secret Nazi, and we had that whole debate or discussion, I guess.
Okay. And did you come to any kind of relative understanding with Vosh, or do you still feel like you disagree with him on what he's saying?
Oh no, I've always loved Vosh. I still love Vosh, but I still don't agree with him on it. And people were saying that I thought I did really bad, but people were saying I did really good because most of his points were just like, well, I guess I'll have to look into that. Like, he didn't he would try to make a point, and I would counter it, and he would say, well, I guess I'll look into that.
So it kind of just became agree, disagree at that point, like your opinion versus his.
Right. I thought I did bad because I had more ideas in my head that I had more points to make that I didn't make.
Right.
Because I was very nervous and stuff, and I was kind of just got caught off guard and I had to prepare for it. But,
I'm sure. Yeah.
But I mean, they said I did fine. They said oh no, you did pretty well. He went to that whole I guess we'll just agree to disagree thing a lot. Or not. He'll just I guess I'll have to look into it. I guess I can't prove that either way. I can't really say anything about that. I don't know much about that. I haven't looked at all their videos. I guess I'll have to look into it. And he said that a lot during our conversation. And it wasn't a debate. It was a conversation.
Right. No, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap it up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been going. I thought we were gonna do an hour. It's almost been 2. So.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry. I didn't mean to keep you on for longer than you expected, but yeah. Any last points you want to make before I shut this off? Anything you want to plug?
I look forward to the day where we've destroyed heteronormativity, destroyed gender, destroyed.
Sweet.
I can't mean it too much. You get the point.
Yeah. Okay. Just knock it all down. Be gay. Do crimes. All right.
Yeah, destroy patriarchy. Destroy heteronormativity. All of it.
All right. Cool. Thank you for stopping by. Come by anytime you like.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I'm glad we went this long. Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Oh yeah. No. Totally. Yeah. See ya. Bye.
All right. See ya. Adios.
All right. Well, that was swell. Yeah. No. Glad to have talked to him. That was a really good conversation. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream here as well. So